Starting. Hey guys, good evening and welcome to my exciting channel. We're discussing Mandela effects and the like. Thanks for joining in tonight. Welcome all Mandela effectians. As you know, we're having a live discussion of Mandela effects, and I want to start out with a little prayer. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for us to be together tonight to discuss Mandela effects openly and honestly with each other. Give us open hearts and open minds, and please let us continue to be in your grace. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. So I want to open up the floor for MsEman. He's our special guest tonight. We got several special guests, but E-Man, you discovered the Walmart teas. That is huge. Could you go ahead and elaborate on some of that stuff and maybe some of your theories as to Mandela effect?
Okay.
What's going on?
How you all doing today? Well, as I was looking at all the logos and stuff, I was actually outside of Walmart, and I just looked up and I said, "What happened to the T?" And so the left side of the T was gone, and so all of a sudden I just started searching every image that I can find. AutoZone, all of the T was gone on a whole lot of things, and so I took a trip into Walmart, and then all of a sudden I say every T is missing, and then I looked on the computer, and I was like, well, why is all the symbols are the same way? And then I started saying, I said, well, I don't understand. So I started asking people, have y'all seen these T's like this all along? They say, oh no. So I went up to a Walmart person. I say, how long you been at this Walmart? They say, well, I've been here for years. I say, look at your teeth. Did it fall? And he's like, no, it didn't fall, but I don't know where that come from. I say, well, have you noticed the Mandela effect? And they say, well, I ain't got time. I say, okay. But and with the theory that I think that's going on is because we all are on different frequency. We all have a different DNA. We have different wavelengths. I think that the frequencies that we are all on, it becomes different because our DNAs is different. So if they're changing certain things, some people are not changing because their energy and their DNA is not synced with that timeline. And so I know for a fact that some people really don't see it because they have changed with the change. And so, but supernatural or not, I believe that whoever's able to stay current, they don't feel the change. They get the after effects, meaning their head might hurt and everything like that. Because I noticed everything is linked up with the towers and everything. So when they push the button, they got 30,000 machines. If you're not on that wavelength, you don't change. So I think we all are being divided for a reason. And I'm
I
getting the flow
agree.
to some other people.
I totally agree with you there, man. They're definitely putting the sixes in a lot of these logos to tell us something. What do you guys think about that? I mean, have you guys noticed a lot of sixes popping up?
Well, Brian, I just awoke and
I've seen more ones than sixes actually.
yeah,
Hey,
I just
Chris.
woke a month ago, so I haven't really.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was at the end of March, and so I haven't really taken the time to start noticing everything or noticing a lot of things. I took a lot of time watching videos and seeing all the changes, and I was freaked out. But I haven't really actively started looking like you, Brian, or any of the others.
Well, I want to ask you because you're kind of new to it. What got your attention? Like, what was the one that screamed out at you? The Mandela effect.
Well, the first thing that really affected me was C3PO. I was hanging out with some friends over at Target, and we were walking through the toy section, and there's C-3PO with a silver leg, and it freaked me out. And I was like, "Hey, when did he get a silver leg?" And my two friends said, "He's always had a silver leg." I was like, "No, no, he didn't. He was all gold." That was the first thing I noticed, and then the one that really hit it for me was the Ford logo. And
yeah, that one actually went through several changes. Did you guys notice that? Like the F has a curly. I just thought it was a little pigtail. I thought it was kind of cute or whatever. But it's actually a 6.
Yeah. But when I first saw the Ford logo, I jumped out of my chair and I was like, what is that? And and I knew there was something different, and that's when I really noticed things were changing.
Here's something else to think about, the F in the Ford, okay? What is the 6th letter of the alphabet? Think about it.
F.
That's right. And what is the 6th letter from the end of the alphabet?
Let's see.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a lot of F's and T's being modified and changed.
That's a good observation.
That really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, just thinking, because my ADHD makes my mind wander. I don't know if you guys ever experienced stuff like that, but it's.
Hey, I want to bring something up really interesting.
Yeah, Tom.
Like I came into the Mandela effect last June, and you always think about time. You got the past, present, and the future. Well, you always think once the present works on the future, then the past is fixed. It's solid like ice, unchangeable. It's static. But then when I realized that all the quantum changes were actually the present changes the past, and next thing I know, I found out that the past is now changeable. And it makes sense because when I studied quantum mechanics, I realized that even when you're about to observe a particle, it knows that you're going to observe it, and so it retroactively changes way it behaves back in the past. So it's like the present affects the past, which is a whole new understanding or paradigm shift, which I found so interesting that, it's just really amazing. That's one thing that really made me really fascinated about the quantum effect or the Mandela effect, is that the past could be actually altered. And I get intrigued with all these testimonies of people, saying, "Oh, I remember it this way, but it's actually this way." And it's like, the only thing I feel that, if it doesn't touch your personal frequency, that you haven't gotten, your memory hasn't been changed with the effect, that your memory remains intact and not changed by it,
Yes.
then therefore you'll see what the change was. So that brings up to another theory that your soul, your spirit is not of this world. So therefore, this quantum effect deals with the three-dimensional matter that we have here, that you could, perceive with the 5 senses.
And I'm glad you said that, because I thought about that, because if you change the past, and see, that's why they're working on the past. They're working on the past because they know a lot of people are not looking at the past. We tend to take the past for granted, so it's easy to manipulate the past because everybody say, "Well, don't worry about what's behind you, worry about what's in front of you." But if you change the past, everything afterwards change. And so that's why they working on mostly on the past, because they know that a lot of people not worried about Moonraker. A lot of people not worried about Forrest Gump. They worried about reality shows and stuff like that. So their mind is not even focused on that. And so if you, and I learned, as we keep going, that's why I did a remembering video. As long as we keep ourselves updated with the changes, I think that helps us stay stable. And it's like we constantly update ourselves. And so if I think I forgot something, I go back and remember it again so that I won't lose it.
Exactly. It's like refreshing yourself, like
Right.
RAM keeps refreshing itself, and that way you keep date. And one thing you got to realize that, you know, when people experience this, sometimes they think they're going nuts or insane. But one thing I realized that you can count on your memory as being solid and whole, and you know that things could change around you, but your yourself, your memory is totally intact, unaffected by it. You know, and that's what you got to take confidence in.
Let me ask you guys something. Speaking on memory, I thought about this, and it works like this in computers. A couple of you guys, Damien and Tom, I know you're in the computer industry and hardware.
I'm in IT as well.
Who is Chris?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So you know ones and zeros. It operates on switches. Okay. Memory operates on switches. If it's a 1, it follows a certain path, or if it's a 0. So I think everything could be digital. What do you guys think about that?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I got some links to a website where this one lady compares the way a computer works to the way this reality works, where they suspect it's some kind of computer simulation. And like saying computer simulation, it's more like it behaves, the reality behaves just the way a computer will process something. And they say when you get down to the final pixel, whether it's a picture or that final 1 bit that, you know, when you're converting audio into digital and digital audio, it's called like a pixel. But in this world, the final pixel rate is called Planck's length. And what it is, Planck's length is the distance, is this lowest measurable distance. Anything below that is unmeasurable. And also Planck's length, Planck's time is the smallest increment of time that you can measure. And then Planck's length is the amount of that time for light to travel. So bottom line, what I'm trying to say with the Planck's constant is now they're saying that we don't experience time as one fluid analog motion. We view it in steps. These steps are like, you know, 10 to the minus 18 second. That's how much resolution there is in time. But they say it behaves just like it was streaming data, you know?
That's pretty interesting. Now we were talking about Star Wars a second ago. Damien, you said you have some residue for us. Like, you were the one that found Darth Vader had a silver nose. That was pretty awesome, my friend.
Well, you know, I think what was intriguing is seeing that change. I mean, I got pretty excited. I think what amazed me the most was after that, he continued to change. And I'm not sure how many people can see what I see right now. I don't know if I can share my screen with you. I'm going to bring this up. I don't know if everybody can see it.
Yeah, Cosmic, I would like to hear your story too, like in a moment, you know.
All right.
Let's see, Darth Vader. You see,
Is it up?
Do that again?
Can you see it?
Yeah. Wait, do that again.
I'm perplexed because not only is his nose silver to me, but his left cheek
And his neck.
And around his eyes eyes, they're silver now. And people are seeing this though as a reflection. They say, "Oh, it's a reflection." And I said, "No, go through the photos first, and you'll see it's like this in every photo. And then go look at the movies, and you'll see the same areas. It's changed in the movies as well." And it really was made, though, the change, to make it look almost like it's reflection. It's just light reflected off the black, but it's not. And
that's incredible.
I find I have to walk people through this. And this is actually from it's supposed to be the most noted replication costume that you can get of Darth Vader from The Empire Strikes Back. But you can go through all the photos through Google and you'll see these same areas, some better than others. And again, and then if you go to the movies and watch carefully and pause them, you'll see these changes. I mean, this just blew me away. And I think what blew me away the most about it was that Darth Vader's probably in the top 5 best known movie villains of all time. I mean, people recognize him and can describe him around the globe, millions of people, and yet so few can see it. And I think that shocks me more than anything, because to me this is another thing. It should be like front page news, like C-3PO's leg. Like, how can you not see this? Because he doesn't look ominous anymore. He looks kind of freakish to me.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're going to make him all silver at some point.
There are some photos where his helmet also looks silver. And I thought that was happening at the time. I remember I actually messaged Brian while this was happening, and I said, they are turning him entirely silver. And I don't think you saw it at the time, Brian. I think you thought I was probably a little cuckoo. But
no, I did see it.
Oh, good. But
I don't think you're.
You know, but you see this happen, and you think you do think at the moment, you think, how can this happen? And you do feel a little crazy, but it is happening, and just one example of thousands.
What's that other example you said you had? That you had Fruit of the Loom, cornucopia.
Oh, cornucopia. Yeah, let me bring that up here. So here's an image, and I'm sorry to say I can't say who to give credit to for this, but this is what I remember.
I remember that too.
That's what I remember.
Yeah, same here.
Oh yeah.
And there's a movie, an animated movie, and Bully, and in that movie they've got a clip where when he shrinks and he goes down into the shorts, and of course it's a parody. It's called The Fruit of the Loin. But again, kind of modeled after the Fruit of the Loom, and they've got a cornucopia in there as well. So where would they get that idea from if it didn't have it?
Exactly. Cosmic, you want to open up the floor for a second? Tell us about your story. What's your background? You know, how old are you? You know, what's going on? What are you discovering?
Well,
Can you turn up your mic? We can barely hear you.
you hear me now?
A little better, yeah.
Alright, I was going through YouTube one day.
It's still kind of muffly. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to get my
Okay. Yeah, while you're doing that, E-Man, let's talk about Audi. What's going on there in Kit Kat?
Well, you know, the Audi, when I was looking at the Audi, you know, like I say, like you, Brian, we spot all the little ones. We go and check out all the little ones. And so I'm just searching every day, you know, because I want to make sure I'm keeping myself fresh. And so I went over the logo of Audi, and I said, a 6? No, that can't be right. And so I went through the history, and see what they did was they kept the Audi that we remember today, but they changed the past where they say it's always been a 6 ever since the logo was made. And I said, no, that is not right. And so I was like, and then the Kit Kat, it changed twice. It went from the dash to now the T side of the T missing, and it looks like a J. And I say, wait a minute. And so what I recommend everybody to do is to take the old Mandela effects and check on them, because they changing the old ones as well. So you can go back and you did your video and you know exactly what you was talking about, and you was like, I wouldn't have missed that. And so they are also messing with the old Mandela effects.
Yes. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for just a second, because there's that scene where that boy gets bitten by the other kid, and you guys remember that one on YouTube? And he says, he bit me, and now he doesn't say it so much the same. And that was an old YouTube video from 2009, I believe. What's going on there? Another history change. Tom, you there? Okay, Cosmic, you back?
He's on mute.
Okay, E-Man, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Talk about Kit Kat. That was...
And so when I seen it, I'm like, man. And just to give a brief history on myself, it's gonna be real quick. I wasn't even thinking about the Mandela effect. What drew me to the Mandela effect is I had got sick and I got hoarse. I never been hoarse a day in my life. And the horse didn't go away like everybody say, 2 to 3 days and goggle. And so I started researching how in the world did horse happen? Because I mean, my voice went away for at least 4 weeks, and so I ran across chemtrails. And when I ran across chemtrails, that would bring me to the Mandela effect. And when it brought me to the Mandela effect, it all started to lining up to me. And see, I think I did a video months back where even airplane pilots was talking about the geo and the metal and the barium that they spraying in the air. See, they trying to condition our brains to the frequency. So, if you put metal in your brains, and they can use the magnets that they're using with the magnetics, what they using to do the particles with the magnetics, I don't know the word now, Lord Jesus, the magnetosphere. And so if they using the magnets and they put metal in your head, they can also vibrate the frequencies. And so that's why I believe that the headaches that I was getting worse. And so when I started seeing it, I say, man, look, I had to step back and I had to say, man, I am not crazy, and you can't think you crazy. Once you get down that rabbit hole, you got to know what you know. You got to stay firm in what you know. You can't let nobody try to wing you any kind of way. Say, well, maybe it ain't, because when you start saying maybe it ain't, then you started doubting your own self.
Okay, yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, oh my gosh, I was pointing at my ear because we've been hearing the ears ringing a lot. It's been pretty well proven. Somebody sent me a video where there's a screeching noise in the sky. Have you guys ever seen any of those videos?
I've seen it.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I seen that. That's what I seen when I first started checking out chemtrails. All the different sounds that's going on all across the world, and it's been happening like that ever since maybe 2014.
And the sky is different too. You look at the sky, it doesn't look the same at all.
Yeah, like the night sky. Where's all the stars? The billions of stars that used to be there, and the moon looks like it's tilted, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It changes all the time.
yeah, I mean, so Satan, they moving stuff a whole lot. I mean, it's just like I think I did a video about the star, the sun and the moon out at the same time at 3 o'clock in the evening. I said, excuse me?
Yeah,
Oh.
I saw that the other day actually.
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Mhm.
And the clouds are crazy. They're just crazy. Like
Oh yeah.
you see so many different types of clouds at the same time, and so many different layers, and they're so wispy, and it's so different. You look up and it just amazes me every time I look up.
I think it's The Simpsons every time I look at those clouds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then see what they try to do. They try to cover themselves up because NASA just released an article saying that they found 7 new clouds. How can you find 7 new clouds? We ain't got no 7 new planets where we at. The sky, the same sky that I remember. How do you find 7 new clouds? Come on now.
E-Man, it was 12 new clouds.
Well, it's 12 or 7. I think I'm mixing it up with the 7 new planets they found.
Exactly.
And what happened to Pluto? They got rid of Pluto and told us it was like something that just joined our system, like it's in the Kuiper belt or the Kuiper belt. I mean,
It's
everything.
It's like, I mean, they wanna, and that's why I've been pushing the narrative of fake news, because they really trying to wing us out. It's not only just Fox and all that. They trying to shut us down so that we can look like we not credible. And so when you tell people, they say, well, you just doing fake news. No, like I said in my video, this is no longer a conspiracy to me. This is happening. This ain't something that I'm thinking to maybe happen, like aliens. I ain't never seen aliens, but everybody says aliens. I'm actually seeing this in person.
Hmm.
Yeah, what are all these dark, shadowy people that people are seeing? And you know, not, I'm going to open the floor about that for just a second.
I personally haven't seen anybody or experienced that, but I have woken up very suddenly thinking that somebody's in my room, but I haven't seen anybody.
Or, well, I guess that's good. That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Amen.
haven't seen anything either, and also I haven't had any kind of ailments like headaches or anything like that either, or ringing in the ears. That's none of that.
Let me ask
happened to
you,
me.
Cosmic, have you had any digestive issues, though? Like, because that's another one.
Actually, yeah, I have for the past 2 months now.
Yeah, see.
Yeah.
And the tailbone too, that's another one. The
I agree.
tailbone.
Yeah, my
Yeah, the
back's been
tailbone.
hurting.
What's up
My
with the
lower
tailbone?
back.
And that happened like overnight. And a lot of people, they say, well, maybe you need to go to the gym. I say, well, my wife, she's skinny as it could be, and she feeling the tailbone. So that ain't it.
I don't feel that yet. Not yet. That's crazy. I just been
Let's
noticing
see.
logos and you know, like horns and stuff on letters and changes to lyrics to songs. That's how really. When I
Yes.
first found out about it, you know, at first I was like, oh well, you know, businesses change their logos all the time. Like, what's the big deal? But then I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, and I know every lyric to every song. And when I heard the change in Smooth Criminal, that's what let me know, you know, shit is real. You know,
It was like a glitch,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
it was crazy. And I even went back. I thought, okay, well maybe they remastered it or something. You know, being that he passed away. I went back to old concerts. It's changed. It's different. And that's what made me a believer. That right there.
Now, Chris, I know a lot of this. The other Chris, I know a lot of this is like affecting you, like that's new since you're only like been here for like a month on the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
So everything's got to be snowballing for you. What's some of the big ones for you, buddy?
You know, mostly, like I said, it was the Ford logo that really hit me. The C-3PO, Darth Vader's, you know, uniform changing, his outlook appearance, but also I've, you know, song lyrics, and you know that affects me too because I've always listened to the radio and I've heard, you know, countless music, and I've memorized a lot of, you know, song lyrics, and you know when I hear something's different, you know, it kind of weirds me out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the
And
song lyric that got me is the Queen song, where
Queen,
it
yeah,
doesn't say other world no more.
that's
That's
I
right.
mean, I'm like, huh? And
Wait, which
then
one?
the Queen song, the one that
Yeah.
says "We are the
Oh, of the
champions."
world, yeah, at the end. Yeah.
Other world. I'm like, what is? Come on, that's the one that we be building up to say.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And so, and then another one, you know, the three little pigs, where it says,
Yeah.
I huff and I puff and I blow your house in. Come on, huff and puff and blow your house in.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
And then when when you tell people, they think you crazy. Like, oh, well, they probably just changed it. No, why would they change that now? Why would
And
they
it's
change
always been that way.
now? You know, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
And so you know, and so certain of these changes are really you can laugh at them because it really don't make sense. Like the Forrest Gump one where it says life was like a box of chocolate. I mean, what we did. I mean, I mean,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and you got people with it standing on the back of the VHS tape. I mean, come on now. And then he's saying it himself in the skit.
Hmm.
That's right.
And so I think people have got to a point where as long as they can get their money on and it's not personal to them, it really don't matter.
That's
That's
right.
what I think. I think that's what's going on. Well, if it ain't bothering you, let them change it. So what? But like I tell people in one of my videos, they're not changing it for our benefits. It's not nothing good down this rabbit hole. Cause if that's the case, if they want to do it for my benefit, let me get one in then. Let me do a change so that I can get something out of it. I ain't getting nothing out of it.
Well,
You
I've
just
got a
giving me a
theory.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's hear it.
I've got a theory about that though. They're changing small things. Things that people take for granted. Like the Hillshire Farms, stuff like that. When they change labels like that, they're trying to do small things and to see how many people react, and if or even if anybody reacts and notices. And they could be weighing how many people notice and say, okay, let's do something big now
Well,
and see if anybody notices.
even the people
I,
that do
I,
notice, right? When you tell the people that don't notice, they don't care.
That's
Either
right.
way,
Yeah, you're right, Cosmo.
exactly.
it's
You know,
go ahead.
no, go
I
ahead,
have
Michael.
to agree because the one thing I've noticed though is that they're picking up in speed, and they do seem to be getting bigger in the sense that they seem more in your face, and that they should be more noticeable. But to me, it seems like the veil is even bigger also. And like you said, they're both kind of increasing at the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't know when it's going to peak, but
I know some reason why they're doing it. See, they're learning. They're learning who is being affected and who is not. And so the more they test they ramp up the frequencies and combine frequencies. See, they want to get to a point where everybody's affected at the same time. Right now, they seeing if their trials are working, and so they do stuff big. So they say, well, the small stuff I know they ain't gonna see, but let's do something big and let's see if our frequencies has affected enough people where they think it's been that way because we have put them in that wavelength where they know it's been that way because they changed with our frequency. Now the ones that still there, they going to tweak that a little bit so that they can affect all of us at the same time. And once they get to that point, that's when everything gonna hit the fan, because that's why I tell people, keep yourself updated, keep yourself clean from thoughts that really don't matter. Make sure that you keep yourself grounded where you can make sure that you don't forget what you just got through saying.
That's right, and they're changing our language. Is that right? I mean, they're changing words like judgment, and it's a dilemma, and we're supposed to not have vengeance with anybody. All these words are changing in our dictionaries. On
Yep.
anointed, the word anointed used to have two N's, and now it has one. So
I
you
looked
guys,
up beeves in my dictionary from 1974, and I never saw that before. The plural for beef. I've never seen that before in my dictionary, and this is a dictionary from 1974, and
Yeah.
that freaked me out.
I always thought it was just beef. We always said beef. We never said beeves.
We
That's
always
right.
said beef. This was for dinner. Beef.
And with the technology that they're using, the D-Wave computer, CERN, all of it being connected, eventually their experiment. See, that's what I'm worried about. Their experiment gonna lose control of themselves. And what I mean is, they trying to build machines to learn for themselves. Eventually, they gonna if they get to that point, it's gonna change stuff on its own, and they gonna lose control.
Yeah, that's right.
See, right now they got an experimental control environment, but once they let that lid off and that computer begin to program itself, then what we gonna go? Where we gonna go?
Then that's the beast right there that says in the Bible.
Right. It's gonna give power to the other one.
Exactly.
And see, and so all of it is lined up. I did a video, my first videos when it started happening. A lot of people read at the Bible, but not reading the Bible. Even preachers, they read at the Bible. They read what they see just to get money, but they don't read the Bible because Daniel tells you that one day he's going to think about changing times and laws, and then the Bible says it's going to be given to him for times with an S and dividends of time.
Amen,
And
brother.
I said that is right there.
I agree.
I mean, it sounds like it's purely biblical. It's been predicted. It's prophecy being fulfilled. You know.
Yeah. And
But
so
we're
that's
told
why
not to be scared.
so that's why some people, when they say try to take the positive road, I understand you don't want to get into a point where you getting kind of schizophrenic about it. But you want to be prepared. You don't want to. If somebody was telling me somebody's breaking down my back door, or somebody trying to get into my back door, just because I think I know my house, I'm going to check, and I want to make sure it's secure. Because if somebody keep telling me somebody at the back door, and they keep chipping at the lock, if I don't go check, eventually they gonna chip that lock where it's gonna come open, and then once it come open, it's too late.
And then you're right. I mean, the wolf is laying down with the lamb now. That's pretty dangerous.
That's it.
I agree.
Slowly but surely, you know, these changes are slipping in.
That's it.
Nobody cares, and nobody cares. It amazes me. It amazes me. Like, why aren't you concerned about this? Like, and people just think I'm crazy. Like, oh, you shouldn't worry about all that. You driving yourself nuts. Like, no, this is big. You know, like, how are you not concerned about this? Like, how can you change? Like, Brian, I know I mentioned to you about Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Being a wrestler now. Like, he's in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. Like, when did that happen?
Yeah, I
What's
asked my
that?
dad. I actually asked my dad about that when he's like big into the presidents. He knows everything about history, you know, to an extent. He knows like the Civil War. That was like his big thing. And Abraham Lincoln never was a wrestler, according to him.
Wow. That's new to me too.
Yeah, I looked it up several times, and it's on the History Channel website.
I mean, unless he had a secret life that we didn't know about, you know. I mean, it's quite possible. You know, I'm not ignoring that fact because skeptics have their, you know, they have their argument.
Well, I got something to say about something that I just noticed, and I had to stop my kids from actually doing it. Netflix. It seems like they're working through Netflix. A lot of their examples on Netflix are about time travel, and every cartoon that I see talking about time travel, and they're angry. Every cartoon, the new cartoons that Netflix is releasing, have some kind of anger. Like they're trying to program our kids to be angry.
That's right. Anyone else want to elaborate on that? Because we're talking about the social aspect here. You know, not just the changes itself, but we're talking about the social, how it's affecting you and your kids.
I don't have any, so.
Oh, that's okay, brother.
Well, I'll elaborate a little bit more then. That, you know, once I started looking at them, you know, sometimes you try to not pay attention to the cartoon, and you say, well, they're not doing no harm. But it's just like, I don't know if y'all remember back in the day where they said that they had records, and if you spin the records backwards, it had a message, a subliminal message behind it. And so now what they're doing, they putting messages right up there, right out in the front, so they can pre-program our minds. Even if you look at the shows that they coming out, I was watching Orange is the Black. They talking about parallel universe. It's almost like they trying to condition the human brain to accept the narrative. And so the more they push out all of this, it's cool, it's nice, it's fine. People not gonna care because they're like, well, that might be nice if we can open up a new parallel universe. I can see my old brother. I can pay.
They was doing that Outer Limits and Twilight Zone way before.
Right,
Now,
and see, so
you know, like
Sliders too.
Yeah,
Right, that was in the early '90s.
I remember. Yeah, I love Sliders.
Oh, that was my favorite show.
Yeah, mine too. Another time traveling is Back to the Future. I mean, we've seen several changes going on there. You know, such as the bloody hand. He never had blood on his hand, and now he does.
And the rubbing in the noses. Don't forget Strickland and McFly rubbing in the old noses, man. That kind of freaked me out.
Yeah.
how about that? How about that one that did with the kid was pointing at his junk?
Yeah.
Yes, and some people pointed out to me, well, it might have always been like that. It could have been like that from maybe 2013 on, because for a while there I didn't watch Back to the Future, and then I kind of got back into it. So it could have changed as early as maybe 2013, and now we're just seeing it.
Yeah,
I would have definitely noticed that before, like when I was watching it with my son. I would have definitely noticed it.
I agree.
I mean, and so I think what's happening is some folks are on this frequency line, but it's almost like we gotta, if they don't want it, we have to just go to the next one. Because there's a whole lot of people that don't even know what the Mandela effect is. Matter of fact, the most people that don't know about the Mandela effect is in them people that's 30 and older. They don't even know what you're talking about. You be like, have you ever heard of the Mandela effect? No, I ain't never heard of the Mandela effect. And so it's almost like we have to just continue, because what I've been doing, I don't know about everybody else, I actually made a Mandela flyer. I made a Mandela flyer.
Oh, wow.
I put some examples on the flyer. Like I put the Star Wars, and then I put the Sex and the City,
Nice.
the Coca-Cola, and then I made two of them. I made one with that, and then I made another one with just the biblical. And so what I do is I give them the regular one first, and after that piques the attention. I say, do you believe in God? Because you don't want to offend nobody. And they say, yeah. And so I give them that one. I say, have you ever knew the Bible to have piss and unicorn? And they were like, what? And so that's what I've been doing, so that I can have something tangible for them to take home to just look at.
That's right, and it's all over YouTube. Let me just tell the viewers out there, okay? We're just normal people. We're not trying to recruit anyone. We're not spammers. We are just normal people. We have our families of our own. We're not trying to influence anyone's mind at all. But we are out here to spread a message to everyone. Okay, we're out here, putting ourselves on the enemy line, on the front line, because we're risking, like I'm not afraid to show my face. I know you guys aren't either. My name is normal on there. It's not like some disguised name. I'm putting myself out there for folks. You know what I mean? I'm putting myself on the limb here. Do you guys feel the same way sometimes?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
You're risking credibility, being torn apart by skeptics.
Well, that's the reason. That's the reason why I come up subtly. I asked somebody in my church or whatever. I said, "Do you remember?" You ask them a question about their memory, what they remember. If they remember it like the way it's always been, then you don't go any further. But then if they say, "Oh no, it's this way," and then you can kind of make them see that it's been changed. And you got to hit the right. How you get people is you got to hit something that they know for a fact, like me and Dolly and the Braces and Moonraker. You show me that would, trip me out. You got to show them something that they actually remember solid.
I've tried that.
I've
tried that. I'll say something like, hey, what's the capital of Brazil? Right? And they'll be like,
Right.
oh,
Rio,
Rio
right?
de Janeiro. I'll be like, look it up, Google it. They'll Google it.
What's
They'll be
funny?
like,
What's
Brazil,
funny about the Rio? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you,
Yeah,
but the
keep
Rio,
going.
I had a computer game.
you know,
Like it was like a kid's world map that you play, and you put these little airplanes everywhere, and it would say Rio de Janeiro was the capital. And then I didn't even notice it, like, because I was in high school and they mentioned Brasilia, Brazil. Like, what's up with that? You know, why did it change?
really,
Yeah.
really, because wow. This is my first time hearing this. Like, when I was in school and I graduated in 2000, you know, it was Rio de Janeiro.
For me as well.
So
It's
it's
same here too. I posted that a couple weeks ago. You know, somebody came out and hammered me on Facebook saying, "Oh no, it's always Brasilia, you idiot." I said, "Oh, okay."
okay, yeah.
Yeah. You know what?
But
You know what really
even
got
when
me?
I did that though,
Go ahead.
even when I did that and they Google it and they be like, "Oh, it's Brasilia." I didn't know that. Really? Like you and I both know it was Rio, and now it's Brasilia. Don't you think that's a little strange? Just a little bit.
The one that get.
Maybe it's crazy.
Go ahead.
Now go ahead, you go.
No, the one that really got me is how they move whole continents. I remember.
Hey, sorry about that, guys. I got bumped out. It's like they didn't want us to talk about the Mandela effect. It happens sometimes. I'm sorry about that.
I remember South America, and South America was right under the United States.
Yeah.
And now it's not.
Absolutely. That to me is a real mind tripper, because I
I
used
mean,
to talk around the world and stuff, and I knew where South America was, not way out there close to almost Africa. You know?
I mean, it's almost like you can swim to Africa now.
Yeah, exactly,
right.
man.
Yeah, crazy.
And don't forget, hey, there's no more North Pole ice caps to melt to put New York City underwater. Don't have to worry about that now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
And
I'm sorry.
when I seen the South America thing move, I started wondering, are we actually on the same planet? I mean, because how do you move? I can understand the logo, I can understand the symbol, but that's some rock. That's some rock that's solid. Either they done moved us or they done really good. Because
Hey.
how do you move a whole continent?
Oh, I'll do one better. I'll do one better than that. How about moving the whole solar system from the Sagittarius arm to Orion's belt? Only 80,000 light years. I said after that, everything else is downhill.
That's right.
I think that's why they was telling everybody they found 7 new Earths. See, that's to tell people, yeah, it's some more planets out here. So if you see the Earth we came from, that ain't the Earth we came from. That's something else.
Well, let me ask you guys something. How many of you noticed the Google E turned upwards?
Oh yeah. I see that one too.
And it said it's always been like that since like what 2003 or something like that, or I forget the time frame, but it's definitely changed.
Mm-hmm.
And that just changed too, like
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago. That's recent.
Yeah, that's I remember that. I mean, it's like
Wow.
it's happening so fast, and I don't know if y'all know about the timeline of the experiment, but right now they supposed to be cranking it up a little bit higher. So I don't know if we in a wave to get a whole lot of more changes. But I was talking to one of the mothers in the church. I say, what will make you believe something going on? I say, would it take it being daytime and it to flash nighttime for 5 seconds to you to remember, for you to think something going on? She's like, yeah, if that did that, I showed. That's like it's like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of
stop
teeth.
talking about it.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cosmic.
No, I was just saying I just stopped talking about it because every time I talk about it or if I try to show somebody something, they still, even though the proof is right in their face, they still think I'm crazy. So
They get mad.
Hey, speaking of proof, I'm sorry. Speaking of proof in the face, how about the 6 holes in the face now in the skull? And
Yeah.
I said to myself, okay, I need this like a hole in the head, you know?
I guess they want us to go swimming again.
And seriously, we're just presenting ideas here, folks. You know, and I have opened the calling lines for you guys. Now, we have a special guest coming on, Peter Wolfinger. He's supposed to be on here at 10 o'clock, and he's going to talk about more of the social aspect that he's noticed. He's on Facebook, one of my dad's biggest fans. He's going to talk about how people behave in this reality, or I shouldn't say reality. It's the world we live in, okay? Because that's politically correct. But yeah, go ahead. Someone else speak about something. The praying mantis. Supposedly it was improper to kill this thing. You guys remember being told you would face punishment, or it was basically extinct, and now we find like 12 different varieties, like 12,000 different varieties.
I remember that.
Oh, man, I look, man, I done seen some stuff that I just can't. I mean, animals. I mean, when I seen the purple squirrel, I was through. When I seen the purple squirrel, I was through. I mean, and yeah, it was purple. I did a video about it, and then I seen the purple sweet potatoes. I said, now I know if I ain't no purple sweet potatoes. I know. I say, I like sweet potatoes. I said, I know it ain't
They
no
got the little
purple.
tiny ones that's purple, and I said it too. I was in the supermarket last year. This was last year, and I saw the little tiny purple one. And I was like, where the hell did you get a purple potato? Like, what is this? You know, and somebody next to me, total stranger, was like, oh yeah, you know, they come in all types of colors. I was like, no.
What?
Potato?
And
No.
here's the thing too. I know the skeptics are probably saying, "Oh, that's just GMO foods." Okay, they're controlling it with genes. But when you got Residue from like way back in the day saying it was always like that, you know, they didn't have gene manipulation back in like the 70s and 80s.
No.
You know, this stuff occurred in the late 90s. You know, Dolly the sheep. I think that's where pretty much it began.
That's right.
It's just like the skunk. It's like the skunk with 2 stripes down the side. I mean, I said, when did that happen? And I saw somebody like, no, I don't remember a skunk with 2 stripes down the side. I say, well, that's all I see now.
Well, I got the one with the all black chicken where its beak is black, its feet are black, feathers are black, everything's black. Even when you cut into it, skin's black, the meat's black, the bones are black.
Yeah.
So how you know when it's done?
And guess what kind of eggs? And guess what kind of eggs it lays? Black eggs too, man.
No, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'll pull up some pictures.
Well, how about those? I saw someone post. I don't know if it's real.
I saw that
Okay.
at the supermarket.
I know you can't eat that. How you gonna know it's cooked? It's gonna turn purple?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I want to know about those giant chickens. Where can we get one of those giant chickens to take home from Walmart?
I'm telling you, I'm about to check and see if I can do me a rotisserie or something.
Hey, for Thanksgiving, we're gonna get rid of the turkey this year. We're going with chicken.
I'm telling you.
Well, hey, Brian, you mentioned sheep earlier, and I'll tell you, when I saw the sheep pig, the Mandela, this really just, I love bacon, but my flavor for bacon just went down a little bit.
I know. It makes you feel sorry for him. It makes you feel sorry for the poor thing.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to eat a lamb.
Man, hey, did y'all see that? Did y'all see that cat with that long old tongue look like a wolf?
No.
I
saw that.
I said, what the world is that? I said, man, look, you can't be in my house. Some of this, I think some of it is genetic splicing and stuff like that. But some of it ain't. Some things you just can't put under every umbrella. Well, okay, they genetic made a black chicken. Well, now we're gonna have more chicken. No, come on now. Some of this stuff is they messing with things that they have no business messing with. And see, when they told me that they were trying to figure out what the Big Bang is, I knew we was about to go. We was about to go down the rabbit hole because, I mean, you want to see what the. I mean, if you literally look up their website, they say this experiment that they doing, it gets so hot, it's hotter than the sun 2 times. So that means we're gonna blow up ourselves, and it get colder than the space. Come on, now.
You talking about the pistol shrimp?
No, I'm talking about the experiment with the quantum computer. No, not
With
the
the
quantum
atom?
computer.
But
Yeah, with the atom. Yeah.
yeah, the particle collider trying to
Wow.
discover the actually reenact the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, talking about it get hotter than the sun. I said, come on now, we trying to cook ourselves now. I don't get it. I don't get why more people don't worry about our planet. It's like our planet and what's going on around it, it don't matter. As long as they can get their little jobs on, they 9s to 5s, or if they got some money in their pocket, that's all that matter. They don't understand. In the future, they trying to get rid of money. That's why you think they starting all these cards and these chips and stuff that they trying to stop all of that. And so if we don't be careful, we gonna end up in the computer.
Yeah, well, and how can you even get a debit card these days without a chip? Honestly,
No, you can't.
What?
Not
That's-
anymore.
I mean, and then they want to make it like where it's for your good and security, not to keep tabs on you.
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
And so like this Mandela effect, it's got, like I tell people, I don't go nitpicking. I really don't like nitpicking, but this, you got to look at all the small things, because if you miss that small thing, it becomes something big. You say, well, who cares if they change the tater chip blue? Man, come on now. If they change the tater chip blue, I ain't eating it.
Well, speaking of colors, how about like rainbow trees, rainbow mountains, and the whole everything doing with the rainbows now too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I seen that. And look, I got you one better. How about the water turning red and pink? What about that one?
What,
Oh,
Niagara
yeah.
Falls? Is that
No,
what
no.
you're talking about?
I'm
They
talking about
changed the
water.
spelling on that one.
No, I'm talking about water itself turning red and pink.
Oh wow, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of that all Google.
A couple of people in the chat, guys. I just want to mention and bring it up to you that let's see. The King or Lavelle says, "What about the Great Wall of India? Come on."
I seen that the other day.
I had never heard of that.
Oh
Not
yeah, that's
until
a,
last week.
yep.
I mean, people, it's just getting real deep, man. I mean, it's getting that deep. I'm not worrying, because I tell people all the time, because I'm awake, I know what is possible now. I don't worry about myself. I really, I don't like to take it biblical, but the Bible say don't worry about who can kill the body, worry about who can kill the soul. So I don't worry about myself. Just like Brian say, we putting ourselves on the firing line, and we not just talkers. We're doing what we supposed to do, waking up other people. Putting on the old armor. You can't come in halfway, because people are trying to take you off track anyway. But if you really want to fight for just humanity, it's our job, man. I mean, it's a tough job, and sometimes it's a lonely job, but somebody got to do it.
Hey, Tanya. Tanya Stutt brought up the Brussels. I guess the Brussels sprouts. I think she's talking about that. Oh, hey, we have Peter. Hey, Peter, welcome aboard.
What's going on, bud?
What's going on, man? I'm a big fan of yours.
Thank you.
So tell us about the more social aspect, which you're seeing people in this day and age. What are you seeing? Like,
what am I seeing? Oof. I'm seeing some things, man. I tell you, it's like the dumbing down of America. It really is. I just see people falling for a lot of baloney, a lot of garbage, just a lot of false news. You know, it's like it's like everything's being deliberately separated on purpose to keep people apart, based on religion, race. I don't know. I can't. You watch and you see things like, for instance, when you're out there in public and you're talking with people and you listen to what they say, they got this false narrative of what life is like, what life is about. Like I'm listening to it and I'm like, well, where did this come from? Like, if you think about it, like, let's say 5 to 10 years ago, you didn't hear any of this crap that you're hearing now. Like, everything is so blown up and out of proportion. And my thing is, I'm trying to find, like, what is the root cause of it? Who is behind it? What is behind it? There's a lot of things. I think taking God out of a lot of things is in the club with it. I mean, I could go on all night. I don't know. You know,
Very sad.
It's what?
I noticed, Peter, you did a video where people are at a Wendy's and they're circling around the building with their cars, but yet inside it's like no one's there. They could just jump in line and get something that they wanted right away.
Well, yes, that's the other thing too. Is I'm noticing a lot of laziness. Just getting out there and doing what you're supposed to do. People are just sitting. They don't want to do it. Like, even they rather sit in a car for about, I don't know, a half hour when you can easily just walk in, grab your crap, and walk out. And like, I've proven it just even with Wendy's. I've proven it with Starbucks. I've proven it on many drive-thrus where I've just walked in, grabbed my crap, and walked out and looked at the same cars that are still sitting there and laughing. I'm like, really, bro? Like, and they're just sitting there looking at you like, well, you just pulled up. Like, yeah, no crap. I just pulled up and walked in and got my crap and walked out. Because your lazy ass doesn't want to get out of the car. And it's like, and I'm sorry for cursing. Like, no,
it's all good. It's all good.
And I mean, I video this stuff because it's that's what I'm saying. Like, we've lost, like, put my finger on it. It's like the United States has lost its, like, oomph. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's I don't know. It's like we've become, like, not all of us, but there's like a majority, like, of a lot of people that have just become like just
walking vegetables.
Yes. They just, it's like, how do you function? Like, what was the other one? Like for instance, if you see something you don't like, right? You come across something you don't like out there in the field. Like, I was watching this video of this woman, and she saw today. I saw it. It's going viral right now. She saw a rebel flag on the wall of a supermarket, and she, like, completely loses her mind to the point that she can't even concentrate. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, well, normal American, like how we used to be. When we see something we don't like, we used to just give it the finger, say what we had to say, and just go away. Like, you know, and I'm not going to get on the views of the flags and this and the other. I'm saying, like, when we used to see, like, the United States, the way we used to be was when you saw something or came across something you didn't like, you handled it and you walked away. You did what you did. You didn't cry. You didn't need a safe space. You didn't need a cuddle zone. You gave it the finger and you left. And it's like,
and you didn't need your lawyer either to fight for you on that one.
No. You didn't need a lawyer for, you know, to because somebody said something to you that you didn't like. Well, you know, and 9 times out of 10 back then, we used to beat the hell out of each other, and then you bought yourselves each other a beer afterwards, or you became friends later on. And like, I don't know what happened. It's like I can't put my finger on it, man. I can't. And the drive-through is like what I get mad about. The drive-through thing is exactly it. It's the same thing. It's like the internet. I kind of blame the internet for it too. I really do. For example, used to go out and play, right? Used to play in the street, go in the woods. I mean, I think I was 6 years old. My mother didn't give a shit. I was running out the door. I was playing out in the street. Nobody even looked out the door. Today, that, you know, you got 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds getting driven, and they got to be chaperoned going to the mall.
gosh.
You know, and I blame the net. I blame the internet for that because it's you know, and they say it's a scary world. Well, it was then. You just didn't know about it because the internet wasn't around, and as a result, you had more courage. Now that the internet's around and it's showing you everything that's out there, everybody's become pussified. Like, okay, well,
Good word.
I like that term.
yeah, well, I'm trying to remain clean, you know, as clean as I can, 'cause, you know, I have a bad mouth. I do. I have a bad mouth, but you know, and it's all in good fun. It's nothing ever bad, you know. It's just I curse. That's what I do. I get aggravated. I curse, you know. And like I always said, God has a sense of humor. I know He does because he's probably laughing at this stuff too, you know. And but from like today, it's just more coddled. I think also coddled.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the world.
We done became somebody need to do it for us.
Right. We've become wrapped up in it. We have everybody else doing things for us. And then, for example, there's something I got mad at something locally here. This you're going to get a kick out of. So it was something local that I was getting mad at. It was with the illegal immigration, right? The guy that owns a business says, you know, what am I supposed to do now? I got to raise my prices because I don't have illegal immigrants working in my store now because they left this, that, and the other. So I said, well, wait a minute. But you're trying to tell me that you got to raise your prices because you don't have illegal immigrants working for you anymore. So what is that telling me? That they don't have human rights because they're illegal? So you were paying them what, dirt wages? So the guy's looking at me. I said, isn't that a form of slavery? So you're giving them like next to nothing to work in your kitchen because they have a legal status? Dude, the guy didn't even know what to do. He just sat there like this. I said, he should have been paid. The man's working his ass off. You pay him a decent salary then. I don't want to hear, you know, even though he's illegal, it's illegal. I get it. But regardless of the fact, the man's busting his ass. Why are you paying him next to nothing? But now you're mad because he's not here anymore. He left. And now you got to pay a regular wage. So what do you say? You're okay? There's things like topics like that like I like just to go at the throat with people and they can't handle it anymore. Like they don't know what to do. They don't. Confrontation is like they can't handle it. They don't know what they freeze. They clam up. They're pussified today, and it's like
Hey, take this one out. We done got so lazy. Is I was talking to my wife the other day, and I say, what's your phone number? She said, I gotta Google it. I said, what, you gotta Google everything?
What?
yeah.
It's in my Google account. And we don't know how to look for our phone numbers no more. You tell somebody, what 5 times 5? Let me Google it. I mean, we done became so dependent on the smartphone that we became dumb. We don't read books no more. And the dictionary and nothing. You know, I remember one point in time, you got to go to the dictionary. You got to go to the dictionary.
And you're absolutely correct. And you know what? I'm guilty of that too, because to tell you the truth, I don't even know my own wife's phone number by heart. I actually got to go into my contacts and actually look it up. You asked me my wife's phone number, I couldn't tell you. I'd have to go to my contacts and no, I don't know, because I always just press a name and then it calls. We've become so dependent on this stuff. Like you said, we've become so dependent on this stuff that we've actually become lazy. Our minds become lazy. And once your minds become lazy, the government can easily control you. Think about it. You know, they can control the masses. If they make you lazy with this stuff and the technology, and I'm, like I said, I'm just as guilty. Like I said, I don't even know my wife's own telephone number. I have to go into my contacts to look at it because I just press a name. We've become that lazy. We've become that relaxed.
And they know it. They know it, but that's why they even, I mean, it tripped me out when I seen this, where if you can't afford it, they'll give it to you. Free. Yeah. Free smartphones. You want this free touch screen? It's like they want to plug us up, everybody up to the laziness. And
yeah.
if you don't got internet, we'll give it to you free.
Absolutely.
We just want to get you plugged in. So once we get you plugged in, we can manipulate you just how we want to manipulate you. So when somebody come to you and say something about change, you're so lazy, your brain ain't been working. That's why you can't see the changes, because your brain ain't been working for a minute.
Absolutely.
But we're different.
Well, there are
different.
there are people that are different. There's a group of people in this world that are very different that can catch on to that. And the thing is, like, they want you this lazy. They want your mind this lazy. So, like, for instance, like living here on Long Island, they hit you with all these hidden fees. People are so lazy, they just go ahead and pay the fees. Like, just like the bag fee. Like, now there's a plastic bag fee. There's a 5-cent plastic bag fee if you use plastic bags instead of paper bags. But people are so lazy, they're just going to pay the 5 cents, and the local government knows it, so they just prey on it. They're like, okay, these people are just going to pay it because they're mentally just lazy. They're not even paying attention to the fee. They're not even looking at the fee. And even if you, like, for instance, here's another one, a big one. You guys are going to like this. Local here on Long Island, the cable bill. Just miraculously added $25 to everybody's bill and put two channels, a sports channel and something else without permission. But nobody pays attention to the bill. They just pay it out of laziness, and they don't look. Why look? So, what is this shit? What? Oh, no, you don't. So next you know, you're on the phone, you're going back and forth. And not even that, exactly what I was saying with the fees. One more, I'll give you another good example, is the Department of Motor Vehicle. I go and I register my vehicle. I bought a car, I register it, I go in, and they give me a price of $200 and something. I said, why is this so expensive? Well, I want a breakdown of what is the cost. Why is this so expensive? There's a hidden $50 MTA, Mass Transit Association, bailout fee. Now, I sit there and I say, well, and you're not allowed to write it off on your taxes either. So I said, how long has this been going on for? Oh, she says, many, many, many years. So $50 per car is going to the Mass Transit Association. Transit. I got a vehicle. I don't need to go on the damn train. But nobody asks. So they sneak the fees in because no one wants to do the legwork anymore. Everybody you're so mentally lazy, like you were stating. You're so dependent on everything. You're not even paying attention. You just do it. And the government knows this. The government knows this. They know they're just going to just take you for a ride.
I have a question for you. And only I had a question because I didn't know, I didn't want to put it on my channel as a Mandela effect, but I went to McDonald's, right? And I ordered a fish sandwich. Now, I know I used to get a whole piece of cheese on my fish sandwich. And they come to me with a half a piece of cheese. I say, excuse me, where's my other half? You get a whole piece of cheese if you get 2 fish sandwiches. I said, wait a minute, hold on. You telling me I gotta pay for another half a piece of cheese? I said, excuse me? I say, I didn't order a half a sandwich. And somebody said, well, it's always been that way. I said, wait a minute, I know for a fact, if I can get a whole piece of cheese on a sausage McMuffin and I can't get one on a sandwich that costs $7, something's wrong. But because people don't care, they don't care. They say, okay, well, just go ahead and charge me that extra 40 cents for the piece of cheese you're supposed to get.
No, I didn't know about the piece of cheese. Now I gotta go to McDonald's tomorrow. I don't even eat fast food. I gotta go to McDonald's tomorrow and see this. Oh, I'm gonna rip them up. I'm gonna rip them up on that piece of cheese. They try to hand me a half a piece of cheese. It'll be warfare in there.
Go for it.
I want to ask you guys something. How many times do you have to double check behind your order at McDonald's or Wendy's or any of those places?
I don't really eat fast food that much. It's very rare and few and far between. I try to stay away from it. Only because I mean, it's not that I don't like it. It's good, but I try to stay away from it because it's bad, And I really, for the past couple of years, I've been staying away from it. Once in a while, you'll catch me sneaking into a place, but it's like rare, and I got to sneak in there and then sneak out before anybody sees me.
Well, they hoping to make all of the McDonald's self-aware, meaning they're about to put these little kiosks where you're not gonna have any cashiers, and they already have these machines that know how to make burgers already because they don't want to pay the $15 an hour. And so what I've been looking at is they trying to get the robots or the AIs to take our place so that we can be even more lazy.
That's
Yep.
right.
So that now you depending on this robot to tell you everything. You got this Google, this Alexa. You got Google assistants, and so it's like
Siri.
let your brain go ahead, go on sleep.
Well,
Go to sleep.
even with currency, like for instance, they want your brain to go to sleep even with the just regular American currency. If you notice, everything is plastic now. You have your debit card, you have your credit cards. They don't even want cash. Most places they prefer that you use a debit card. So now eventually they're just trying to get rid of cash, so you don't even keep track of your own money anymore. You don't even keep track of your change. You look down at your change, you know what you get back. But if you use a debit card, you're not even keeping track really of what's in your bank account. 9 times out of 10, most people don't. After I use your debit card or anybody uses a debit card, do you really write it down in the roster that I just used $45.23? No, you just went and you slid the debit card in there and you used it. And they're trying to make you even lazier with that. So it's I try to pay cash with everything. Like I rather have the cold hard cash in my hand. Just so you keep aware. I keep track of my money. Debit cards make it lazier, makes it easier. You don't pay attention. You're not going to go home and put it in a roster. I know.
Well, I know I think that's because I use my debit card, but I do a trick with mine. I have my bank with all my money in it, and the debit card that I'm gonna use gonna have nothing on it. So when I'm using it, I put the money on that.
I do the same. I put $100 in the account every week, or $120 in the account that I use with the debit card every week, and that's how I keep track of the money. Is when the debit card don't work, I know I got to put another more money.
That's it. That's what I do. And so I make sure because what happens is like this effect that we having. The more our brains get lazy, we not gonna see. Because our brain's not working. When I did the video about the Walmart teas, people look at the tea like, wait a minute, that tea, was it like that? Because they haven't used, they've been walking zombies, just go in there, get this stuff, they not paying attention. And I tell people, I say, the card you're using, you got a MasterCard in your wallet. How long you been using that? Look at the tea. Where's your tea at? Well, it always been like this. I say, come on now. I mean, and that's because the government and these people that's dealing with these frequencies, they know the more they dumb us down, and the more they pump all these geo chemtrails in the air to make us even more dumber, it's gonna just get us to. They want to make us all lab rats.
I mean, basically, that's where we are now, and I see that with, just like I said, I see that with the current events that are going on. For example, these protests that you see in the streets now. Sometimes you don't even know what that protest that they're protesting about. There was one I saw the other day. They were twerking backwards to the White House. Okay, so you twerking backwards towards the White House is doing what? That's a protest? Attention. Right. What is that doing? All right, so Donald Trump's going to look out the window and see you twerking towards the White House backwards. For what reason? Like, what was the twerking towards the White House? Like, I couldn't understand that protest. Like,
they trying to get him. They trying to get him excited.
Even that, like, if you're gonna protest, like, have a protest. Like back in the day, people protested. Like when they protested. Like today, I don't even think half of these people know what they're protesting anymore. When I go out and I show up to some of these. Like, I will show up to some of these. I will ask somebody a question. I will say, hey, what are you here for? They cannot answer the question. They don't know, and yet I know what they're there for, but they don't even know what they're there for. They're just following the masses like a herd of sheep, and I think it's hilarious.
But what tripped me out about these protesters, all these protesters going on, that means somebody ain't got no job. When do y'all work? Because y'all always out here.
Listen, you know what? You just hit the nail on the head with that one, because I said to him, I said, where do they find the time? First off, even if you don't have a job, 9 times out of 10, you got a family that you got to take care of. Where do you find the time to go stand there and do this for hours at a clip over and over again? Like, wow. I understand if it's like a righteous cause, you go out of the way, but to work towards the White House, and you're going to take, like, all right, hold on, let me not have tonight, let me not hang out with my kids, let me not hang out with my friends, and I got to go twerk backwards towards the White House for something I don't even know what it is. Like, come on, you know,
I mean,
like, it's getting silly now.
And that's you know, all of this stuff that's going on is all just a distraction. It's just, they want to keep us. They want to keep what's really going on under the cover. So they put all of this stuff in people's mind. They call the news media to insinuate things to make you want to go out there, and then while they working on their little secret stuff, you distracted of stuff that really ain't matter. Cause like I told somebody in one of my videos, them messing with time, we already at war. We ain't gotta wait on war. War's already found us. Because they messing with. I said we ain't have to wait on war. War's already here. Cause if they messing with time and the timeline and quantum computer, they having war with us already.
That's right, guys. Speaking of the timeline and stuff like that, Harmony, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Harmony, you have a more scientific approach to the Mandela effect. I've watched a lot of your videos. You're talking about overlapping realities and such.
Correct.
Can you elaborate on some of your discoveries?
Boy, I don't want to go into a 2-hour lecture. Can you be more specific with your question, possibly?
Well, sure. I mean, give us an idea, like in summary. What is your idea of what's going on with the Mandela effect? You've been researching a while, haven't you?
All right, so I'll give you the high level overview, real brief. Basically, all the stuff that's happening in front of your eyes, these Bible changes, all these little movie change parts, all the different little changes, the nuances, the body changing, the human anatomy. By the way, in case you guys don't know, this is Harmony from Mandela Effect, and I also have one Harmony Mandela Effect channel. I was the very first person with my friend Brian, who's something's out in the chat. He's in the chat room right now. We discovered the human anatomy changes, and I was the very first person in the whole entire world to make that human anatomy video change, where I'm pointing out and then Dr. Lupo copied it. He actually used my artwork too, by the way. And then Dr. Lupo copied it. So if you saw Dr. Lupo's video, it's 100% my video. He did an excellent job. I'm actually proud of what he did. You know, so basically ignore all that little stuff. It as the friend earlier was talking about, all this stuff is to get you caught up and distracted. Our focus needs to be out there. There's a problem with this place. The energy is not flowing correctly, and we need to get the energy flowing correctly again. And so there's this disconnect from what I call true source, God creator, the unlimited, infinite possibilities. You know, we have everything available to us right now at this very moment. We just don't simply realize it. So we need to begin to realize it and pull in all that energy, wake up, realize who you are, begin to shine like a pillar of light and correct the energy all around you. Because what's happening is this place had a very specific design and a purpose. It got overtaken, and I just said that on my live stream a minute ago. Anyway, sorry to repeat myself. Basically, this place had a very specific purpose and a design to it. And everyone's been crying out saying, help us, this is all screwed up. So the cries of all the souls in this place have been heard all throughout the universe. I don't know if you want to believe in God or many gods or whatever source. I don't care what you think. There's something beyond us out here. So we have to get connected back to who we truly are and pull all that energy in here. And then that will change all the energy flowing around us and get everything back to its correct state. The other problem is that everything has been splitting off into different timelines. So it's kind of like a river is flowing along, and then you have somebody who makes a decision saying, I'm going to go out to dinner, I'm going to do this, and the timeline branches off, another timeline branches off, and we have all these different timelines branching out all over the place. And what's happening right now is the universe is correcting itself. As these timelines are beginning to merge back together, there's you are on the timeline where it's Luke, no, I'm your father. But on the main timeline, timeline 0, we call the river of life, it's always been no, I'm your father. And the thing is that you are, as these timelines are being corrected, they're being merged back together. So now you are thrown onto a timeline where now it's no, I'm your father. But you remember the old timeline. And I am personally, if you guys don't know this, I've been doing Mandela effect videos for a couple of years now. I have, tons and tons of data.
I'm one of your big fans.
Yeah, I'm tracking just in my own little group alone 6 different histories, 6 different timelines in just my small sampling I have. So in my own group, I'll disagree with a lot of people on certain topics as we talk about everything. The point is that how can we have, you talk about the Mandela effect, everybody thinks it's, old Earth and new Earth or native and this, everybody thinks it's this, that. No, it's multiple. People have multiple memories of the Mandela effect. There's 6 different histories of World War II. There's 6 different histories of this. I'm tracking 6 different geography changes on the Earth. People remember the geography 6 different ways. I have solid 100% proof positive evidence of 6 timelines existing right here at this time right now. And then more realities are going to merge in. And the Mandela effect is going to continue on, and it's going to go on for probably another 20 years. I hate to tell you this, folks, because the universe is a mess, and we're trying to pull all this back together and correct it and get everything back to its original purpose, and it takes time. It has to be done gently.
Well,
I
mean, is that the same thing that we was talking about earlier? That I think I said that I think that we all on different frequencies, and
Yes.
so if we all on different frequencies, that's why some people can't see and some people can, because we all spread out in different frequencies.
Exactly.
And once we get on one frequency, that's when everything gets back online.
Exactly.
But this is the question.
Well, my question.
This is the question I have. The mess up that you're saying that the universe is in. Did we cause the mess up? Did scientists cause the mess up?
We were sleeping.
We don't want to look at the cause or the blame, because that will throw you down into a little spiral pit down the rabbit hole that will lead you nowhere to a big dark empty
Right. He's right. What happened was we were sleeping. We were sleeping when this started falling apart. The past couple of years, we were not paying attention to what was going on. Reason being, we were too busy and wrapped up in our own lazy world.
Well,
like we were saying before,
it's worse than that, my friend. What's your name?
Wolfinger.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Peter Wolfinger.
Peter Wolfinger. Hey, by the way, I had a friend Long Island. I've been to Bridgehampton many times, but and New York, I've been there. We used to place in New York too, and I went to school in Pennsylvania, so I know your territory. Love your accent. Crack me up. You give me good memories, man. But basically, what happened is, let's just say this place was created by somebody. And the folks who created it and set it up and said it's good, and then they go off somewhere else. They're known as the founder race, and they go off and create something else. And basically, while they were gone, a whole bunch of crap happened that wasn't supposed to happen. We from a parallel universe, a species was not even supposed to get near the perimeter, let alone be able to escape. Let alone the species should never been allowed to pop into this universe, but it did when we weren't looking. So now they popped in here, and it's kind of like, what if you are let's say you're Blevin, you're a good being, and you go to another, you're escaping, you go to this other universe, and you find out everything's evil. The first thing you want to do is like, this place is evil, let's make it good. So you make it good. But to those people, that's evil. You have to change your mindset, get outside the box, and begin to think like them. So you're a Blevin being, you go to another universe, everything's evil, you start making everything good, but to those people, you're evil. You get it? Hopefully. Let me move quickly. So the same thing happened. The over there in that universe where everything is evil, they came in here and said, "Oh, we don't like this. Let's make it evil." But to us, that's evil. You know what I'm saying? So the species popped in here that shouldn't have been here. The founders were off doing something else.
Basically, it sounds like it just.
This whole place got screwed up. While no one was looking, this place got screwed up.
Yes, it sounds like Berkeley College you're describing.
Well, you know what? You know what he really describing? And I always thought this, but I never said this. And so this is going to be an exclusive thought of mine. He's correct is because the Bible's already lined up that way. And
Yes.
how I mean that is because if you read the Bible also said there was giants in the earth,
There were.
and
Yes.
that when God destroyed the earth, see, a lot of people don't understand.
Oh.
It had to be other beings because he had to destroy the whole earth, but he didn't say that none of them escaped or none of them left. And so the reason why we have problems with biblical text is because a lot of it is jumble, and if you don't have a mind to get into them waters of the deep waters of that word or whatever, you don't understand it. Because when I seen it says, I think that was Genesis when it said that God created male and female, and then he said, "Let us create man in our image." And then he changed his mind. A lot of people think that he changed his mind. No, he did create them big beings. Them beings was in a different form. They had different ways to doing things. They could probably move things with their minds. They had more powers. And so he said they moved too fast. And so he probably sent them off and said, look, we got to make something that's more primitive. That's why I tell people, why you think we use only 10% of our brain? Because if we use 100% of our brains, we might be as gods. But God put a prohibitor, or he put a what they call a stopgap, so that we wouldn't go so far as fast as we went the first time he made it.
He put a governor. He put a governor on your brain.
If I may interject for a moment, do I have permission to have the floor for a minute? I just want to let you guys know that I have an A degree in biblical studies. I have a bachelor's degree in religion with an emphasis in ministry and leadership. I graduated magna cum laude as a minister for over 10 years. If you know Saddleback Church of Rick Warren, that was the last place I worked at. Basically, I left the ministry because there's certain things that religion does. 90% of it's true, okay? But there's this little 10% that sneaks in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. For example, let me, if you really examine the text, let me take you on a journey. An example. You have the story of this little snake, which is Satan, that comes up and says, if you bite from this tree of knowledge, the fruit of life, whatever you want to call it, what happens? They'll have all knowledge and they'll be like gods. And then
now I got a question. I got a question for you, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Now, I'm not a heavily religious man.
Yeah.
But I do believe in God. I do believe. But how come in the Bible, if you notice, that Satan doesn't do any killing? It's God. Why is that?
Exactly. I'm going to get to that. Good point. So your eyes are open and you have eyes to see, as they say.
Yeah. I'm very open on all of it.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
I'm gonna trip y'all out one more quick. You know the reason why? Because I believe that person that God said, "Let us make man in our image," he was talking to Satan. I think Satan is his son. Satan is his son, and we don't realize that he's one of his sons. And see, God said in the Bible, He created everything, good and evil.
Well, sometimes I think that the Catholic Church, between me and you, I think that the church sometimes over the course of history twisted some things to their own benefit. Because I look at something and I read the Bible, and I have read parts of the Bible. I haven't read the whole book. I will be honest with you, but I have read most of it. And I do study it, and I do read it, and I do acknowledge certain things. And that's one of the things I said. Like, if you read in the Bible, anybody, God does. But yet Satan is considered the evil one. Now, did along the time of history, to that, we won't know. We will never know. You will never know that. You have to have faith in that, you know? I'm not a heavy religious man, I believe in God. I know it's good in your heart. I know to be kind to everybody, except there's some people that you just can't be kind to, like people who drive slow in the left lane. They need to get punched. But
All right, so let me continue with the story real quick. So anyway, the snake comes up and says, you know, eat from the tree of knowledge and you'll be like gods. And then what does God say? You eat from the tree of knowledge and you'll surely die. Well, they ate from it, and guess what? They didn't die. So who told the truth?
Well, you know what? I think
Think about it. You think about it for a minute.
I think about that, but I think I know.
The point is, who told the truth in the story?
I think when he was talking about dying, he wasn't talking about dying far as dying
body
from
time.
life. I think he was talking about dying with your body and dying from him. Meaning you won't be connected with me, because remember he said that I won't always strive with man. So they lost their connection. See, Adam and Eve, the people that he made before he made Adam and Eve, and see, a lot of people don't know that it was people before Adam and Eve, because how could you have a tree of knowledge if knowledge don't exist? How could you have a tree of good and evil if evil and good don't exist? And so Adam and Eve was made for a purpose. He was trying to program them the way he wanted them to be programmed, but because they decided not to take that program, and they wanted to know the outside barriers of what he created before them. That's why God said, you're gonna die for me, because I'm not gonna be with you no more. You want what you want, you can have it.
The point is that
warning.
I'm sorry. In the story, Snake told the truth. The snake told the truth in the story. That's the point.
Well, yes, he's right. The snake kind of.
And how God can't lie? Remember?
Well, here's the thing.
It's a paradox.
Didn't God create the snake?
There you go.
Did God create the snake?
Yeah.
I mean, where did the snake come from? The snake didn't just show up. God had to create the snake, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm blowing your mind with that, right? Mine. Well, there you go.
But yeah, he created everything. He created everything.
Right?
All right, I think we need to change subject here.
So we have to go back on subject here, because
let's change subject.
That people are dying to know about. And I topic, but we have to stay in spirit and love. And so let's talk about the Mandela changes, okay, in the Bible, okay?
You know which one that got me?
Do you want a positive spin or the negative spin? I can spin it both ways. Which one you want? Lion and the lamb. I can spin the lion and the lamb.
Let's take
that's now wolf and lamb. I can make that positive. You want to hear it?
No, let's make positive things. I'm tired of negative. There's so much negative in the world.
Here's a positive thing. Okay. All right. So we all know is the lion and the lamb, and now it's the wolf and lamb. I think everybody knows that. So here's the thing. So the Bible talks about, aliens and this and that and the other thing and the Matrix and all this advanced stuff and oh shoot, I just lost my train of thought. How did that just happen? Holy crap, I just lost my train of thought. So okay, now I remember. Oh, so it's basically coming back to oneness where all can be forgiven. What is God? He's the all-forgiving God. God is so forgiving. I know this is, if you're a Christian, you know it's blasphemy to say, according to Christians, Satan has been damned forever and he can't be forgiven. Okay, I understand that theology, but let's step outside the box. And now let's say God's all forgiving. He can forgive anybody. That means he can even forgive Satan. Who's Satan? He's the wolf. So let's say that God forgives the devil, and the devil turns around and changes his way, becomes a benevolent being, and now the wolf is going to lay down with the lamb. Now the enemy, the Satan, our arch enemy, the adversary, the wolf has now changed and been transformed. He is saved. The wolf has been saved by the grace and the power of God, and now he can lay down next to the lamb, the children of Christ, and he will not touch them. He will be one with the children of God. There's my positive spin.
Yeah, well, hey, I said that.
You sure now
You
you sure it's Friday night? You sure you're not drinking over there?
right? You spent that one good. You spent that one real good. But here go one for you that threw me, and this is the one that made the key to everything. When I read Isaiah 45:14, and I didn't care about the Easter, I didn't care about the apron, I didn't care about the unicorn, but when the Bible said there was no God, that's what got me. When every other translation said there is no other God, they took that one word and said there is no God in the King James Bible, and that was my key right there.
Wait a second. I'm pulling out my Bible right now. What verse is that?
Isaiah 45:14.
45:14 Isaiah, huh?
It's right at the bottom. It says there is no
he's
one
right.
else.
You gotta be
Why do you
kidding
guys
me.
have Bibles in your front? I don't even have a Bible in the house.
I've got one on my phone.
I have it on my phone too. Hey, Abnormal.
I really got to get with the program. You know what it is? I tell you, like I said, I'm not a heavily religious guy, but I do believe in God. I am a strong believer in God. I just don't get all into it like that. I just know what's right in my heart and I follow it. And that's how I go. And I will go after things that I see that are bad. For instance, talking before about the Mandela effect. Now we've got off topic again with the Mandela effect. College. Remember I threw that in a few times, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Berkeley College. You take a couple of professors that go out there and they just start trouble. They start riots for every little thing out there at Berkeley College, right? They're not thinking with a clear head. They're following whatever they're programmed or being shown. In fact, again, it's dumbing them down. These are PhDs that are out there, these riots, enticing these protests, enticing the fighting, but they're not looking at the big picture, are they? The whole big picture that I'm getting at is they're out there enticing this because they're following the masses, they're following the blind, leading the blind. They're causing their own demise, and they don't even realize it. Actual University of Berkeley, in 2 to 3 years, their enrollment is going to drop, if not 3/4. Because if you think who's holding the paycheck for those students to go there, right? So now, if all you see going on at Berkeley is constant riots and constant fighting and constant this and constant that and all this negative, what are the parents going to do when it's time for their children to go to Berkeley?
Probably not send them. I wouldn't send them there.
No, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. You got PhDs that are out there enticing this stuff, not even realizing they're putting themselves out of work. You're like sealing your fate because you're blind. That's the total Mandela effect right there. They're not even paying attention to the task at hand. They're just going out there, riot, fight, Trump, anti-this, anti-that. They go out there and induce this, but not thinking of the of it. Like, wow, I don't know, my son got accepted or my daughter got accepted into Berkeley. They're not going.
Here's the
I'm
thing.
the one holding the paycheck that's paying for that school. You're not going to Berkeley.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something about that. I'm gonna tell you something about this college thing. All that's a setup. And the only reason I'm saying that because I went to college, and this is what they told me. And if this is not the biggest scam on the planet Earth, I don't understand what. They said only 10% of you all that's here gonna get a job for what you come here for. So that means the rest of 90 of us, we just giving you free money.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct, sir. I went to college myself. You're absolutely correct. And it is the truth. What you just said hit the nail right on the head. Most of the people that end up coming out, you end up spending $300,000-$400,000 over the course of 4 years, depending on the university. I mean, you could drop some big coin, and you come out at the end. You're not guaranteed anything in life. And then, if depending, like now, like the new generation coming out of college, they're very well coddled. There's not all of them, some. They go out there in the real world. They don't get the job that they interviewed for. because they've never been hit. Like I said, they've never been hit with life experience. They've never been out there. Like when we were younger, we went outside and played. We went out and did things. We went out and we knew what it was like to get beat up by the kid around the corner. We knew what it was like to get bullied. We knew what it was like to not get an ice cream cone because your parents didn't have the money, or you knew what it was like. You know what I'm saying? So now they're coming out of college now. They go out and they think they're on top of the world, like they're entitled. This is also the Mandela effect because they were coddled so much. Titled. So when they go in for a job interview and they don't get that job interview, they don't know what to do. So they like panic and they go out in the street like, ah, and they just break everything in sight and start. I can go on and on all night with this.
How is that a Mandela effect though?
It's dumbing down. It's completely dumbing down.
Got to be the chemtrails.
Well, it could be chemtrails, and it can also be that if you think about it, it's a generation whose parents actually sat them in front of the TV working, or they were too busy wrapped up in their own lives. Remember what I said before? We were sleeping. That's why things got so bad. We, as parents, my age and the age under, were sleeping. We were busy working, trying to pay bills, doing this. So what do? They put the kids in front of the TV set. What was raising our kids? Barney and Baby Bob.
Yeah, but we also, like you said, we went outside. We went outside, though. Nowadays, they don't. Yeah.
We were too busy to even let them outside. The internet helped dumb us down. The internet helped actually tactics, basically.
666, right? The www is actually 666 in Hebrew.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Whoever just said that, I agree with that 100%. Absolutely. Okay. The internet is Satan. It's not Satan, but it's a form of evil.
It's one of his devices.
Okay.
Yes. And as a result, it dumbed down the world because it actually made the world paranoid. It made the world scared. It made you afraid of everything outside in the real world because you're watching videos online. I mean, you see a kid getting abducted. That shit's way. That wasn't next door, but it could be next door. It could be this. It could be that. But yet when we were kids, we didn't have any of that. We went outside and played. We were innocent. We went out. We had fun. We went into trails. We got beat up. We got our asses kicked. Well, living in Long Island, you got your ass kicked. And then you
did your ass kicked in Texas too. Trust me.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, like you build forts out in the woods, and somebody would come and wreck it. The other kids would wreck it, and there were things that went on that today these kids don't know what that's like. They don't get it. And I try to analyze myself and say, old man, like, am I being that 90-year-old man? Like these kids today?
Back in my
No. Check it out.
Not.
Check it out. Look, it's changed. Okay, look. The country changed for your grandfather, right? Did your grandfather say this ain't the same country I grew up in, right? Well, for us, it's changed many more times than what he had to go through.
Yes.
I mean, we have seen lots change. I was born in 74, so I grew up without the internet just like you. And I I get what you're saying.
And so what I'm thinking is, like I tell people, even on my channel, everything can be wrapped around the Mandela effect. You know why? Because if it's changing times and laws, everything that's around you can change. Like you said, what we experienced, they didn't experience. It's just like, I'm African American, and it's like what they do is just like all these riots and all that. It's like they insinuated, and because right before these riots, if you want to know what movies that they was bringing out, it's like they was trying to stir up the old thing. They brung out The Butler. They brung out the 12 Years a Slave. All of this in conjunction with one another. So it's like they trying to feed you some information so that you can act a certain way.
Mm-hmm. You're 100% right. You're absolutely correct. They are actually you just nailed it. They are actually manipulating the minds of the general public by what they put out there and display, and it will set people off to riot. Of course, we do not, as the United States, have the greatest past. All right, there has been trouble back then. There was slavery. There was things that went on. So they will put out things that will trigger the mind into certain things. They will trigger. They know where to hit the soft spot. They know where the weak spot is, and they're going to trigger it. And once they trigger it, that's how they divide. And once they divide, that's how they conquer.
And
Yeah,
just like
yes. Let me get us back on topic here, because I know we're talking about a lot of political stuff. It's getting just a tiny bit out of hand. I have to step in, but to talk about the Mandela effect, it is kind of dividing us up. If you guys are feeling that way, you're not the only one, right?
No, you're 100% right, Brian. It's definitely causing a divide. And it's done on purpose. It is completely done on purpose.
You know
and
what I
that's-
see, guys?
that's-
You know what I see? I
know-
see people recognizing it now, and it may not be everybody right now, but I have been into fringe subjects for a couple of decades, and people are just I'm amazed at how many people are at least willing to look at it. I know it doesn't seem that way, but just think on all of your channels, how many views you get and how many comments and how many people are talking about this and other things. So I feel hopeful that this is a big wake up. My heart says it's a dark thing that's happening, but the hopeful
There's a lot
side.
of people that are too afraid to touch certain things, certain subjects. A lot of people are too afraid to go or touch, like I said, they're afraid to touch certain subjects. Whereas the people that are on here tonight, I can see is on the bottom, are not. I follow some of yous. I'm going to actually follow the rest of yous. I can see you there. Touch the sore subjects. Whereas most of the public are afraid. Why? I don't know. Whereas back in the day, they wouldn't be. Now they are.
Peter, you're right. You're right, brother. I think they're ignorant, and a lot of them are afraid.
Yes.
A lot of us are afraid to come out because, fear, rejection, for whatever reason. Maybe your job is on the line.
And thank you again, Brian. Thank you for putting this together. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yes.
And like I say, I
Yes, sir.
I agree with everything everybody's been saying, and it's just like, this is complex to me. Like you saying, it's complex because people don't want to see, people don't want to hear, but people are beginning to wake up to it. I mean, me and my wife was talking the other day, and my son was like, "Why is this video?" I mean, because I haven't been in the Mandela community too long, and I still don't get it. But I thank the video for doing what it's doing, but I don't understand it. I did a video about the Lord's Prayer with the president or what have you, and it's like gaining 1,000 views a day for the last 2 to 3 months. And I'm not.
Hey guys, real quick, this is Harmony. I was just wondering, can I hear? We're kind of dominating the conversation. Can we hear from like Cosmic or Digital or Domain? Can we have some other people chime in here? Cosmic, you got something to say there?
I'm just I'm new to the whole Mandela community as well, and I was just trying to figure out, because a lot of channels that I've been looking at are saying that it's like collapsing timelines and.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Truth. I like your name, Abnormal Truth, because that's what we're dealing with here. It's definitely abnormal.
Yeah, check it out. Little background. I made Abnormal Truth in like
That is so awesome.
2011.
No, I like that.
I've been doing ME videos since January 2015. And
Wow, brother, why didn't you wake me up back then?
Man,
I was
me either.
trying to. I was on YouTube, man. I was trying to. Right?
I don't even know.
Well,
I still
here's
don't
what
even
I
know what a
wanted to
new
say.
video is.
Yeah. I hear you,
I don't even
man.
know. I don't even know what a new video is.
I was just wanted to say this, that when it first started and like, all right, when I first put my video out in like January 2015, there were a handful of Mandela effect channels or just people talking about it. And back then it wasn't as wild. They were just little
Kids.
things.
It's all kids, man.
Well, now it's kids. Yeah. But and to tell you the truth, it wasn't a seriously older crowd when it first started because
Oh,
I
it's
think
all young kids,
yeah,
man.
well, yeah, we have. I think the older folk have more Mandela effects, you know, just because we've been around longer, you know.
True. That's
But what he was saying about how timelines are shifting and all that, I just wanted to tell. I think it was Cosmic, wasn't it?
That was Harmony, I
I'm
think.
sorry, I keep getting cut off, y'all.
No, yeah, no, I was referring to Cosmic. There's a lot of theories out there, and you'll just have to read them and try to, you know, the one that makes you feel like that could be it. I mean, I I'm one of those who think it's time travel. I don't know why. I think it has to do with time travel. Somebody actually changing a few little things, which changes lots of other things.
I want to
Like the
interject on.
butterfly effect.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, wait, hold on, guys. Can you let who was that? Digitalscribe. Tom, can you speak?
Yeah. I want to inject on a time travel theory. I thought about that, but no time traveler can alter the physiology of a human body, and no time traveler can alter the geography of the planet.
Okay,
So,
I want to give you a rebuttal there.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so we are all right. If it's time travel anyway, which it may not be, I'm not saying that. I just for some reason I have a gut feeling. Yeah, but we're not sure how they're time traveling, and it's evidently has seemed like it's meshed a couple of timelines. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If somebody did time travel, it doesn't necessarily follow all the science fiction theories of time travel and all the theoretical theories, you know. Anyway, but say here's what I think that happens, because this will pertain to the landmass changes. Say we are on a different timeline, and as the world was forming and everything, things were slightly different, or maybe asteroids hit at a different time, little variations like that, since it would be all kind of random. I still,
versions of everybody on each timeline.
well, there already is.
Right. So what happened to the person that was in this timeline before we came?
Well, have you ever seen that movie, The One?
Yes.
That's what this reminds me of.
Good point.
It reminds me of that movie where he wasn't the same. One, he was in the prison. One, he was a cop. Another one, he was a different kind of cop.
Oh, yeah. Time cop.
And each time he killed himself, he got more powerful because there were less of him and all. I just thought that was a cool little part of the movie. You know, he would kill himself, and then he would become more powerful until he was the one. But yeah, freedom, that's exactly what I was talking about, that kind of thing. And
hey guys, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, Peter.
I have to go.
Oh,
my kid. No, guys. I have my son this weekend.
I know. I want to tell you, thank you for appearing on my show, and thanks for presenting your side of the story with the social aspect.
I want to thank everybody here. All right, I appreciate everything you guys do, and I really do. I'm gonna look, and I'm gonna follow each and every one. Like I said, there's some of you I already follow because I recognize the names on my thing there. And I'm not that internet savvy, so I know some people think I am. I'm not. When I tell you I'm not, so bear with me while I struggle with this crap, and I will get better at it. But I had a very good conversation tonight, and some of you guys really enlightened me on a lot of things. So before I go, I just want you to say God bless, love all, love and peace to all, and let's do this again sometime in the future.
Yeah, Peter, God bless you too, and thank you for being a light to the rest of us here. Thank you.
Hey, no, thank you guys, man. I'm telling you, I really enjoyed tonight, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Okay, thanks again, Peter.
Thanks,
Later.
Peter.
Bye, man.
Thank you, Peter.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, so Abnormal, I think you had the floor a second ago. Well, talk about some of your Mandela effects. Do you know the Skechers?
I
Somebody in
do.
the chat
I
mentioned
do.
Skechers.
The Skechers one is a hardcore one for me. I was going to tell you about my first couple of Mandela effects I had before I actually heard of the Mandela effect, but the Skechers one is that always had a T in there to me. We even pronounced the T. But I had some steel-toed, almost combat boot looking Skechers in the early 90s, probably 92, 93. And I've had a pair ever since of different kind of shoes of theirs, and that to me has changed. And
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it's just a definite. But I wanted to say, in 2014, around the end of 2014, I was walking down the aisle in a grocery store, and I noticed a box of Fruit Loops on the shelf, and I said, "Oh, they changed the way they spelled Fruit Loops." Either to become new and fresh as a marketing thing, or they made them change fruit. Right. I thought maybe they made them change fruit and misspell it because it isn't real fruit. Okay. And then I was watching the movie Interview with the Vampire. And I was like, wasn't that always Interview with a Vampire? What's up with that?
Yeah,
And right.
Residue.
So as soon as I heard somebody talk about the Mandela effect, I was like, "Oh my gosh,
Well,
wow, what's going on?"
Exactly. What was this push for Nibiru and the other thing? I'm not going to mention it because it's going to open up another.
Nibiru has been out for a very long time, and I'm what you would call a generalist. If you put out some term and some weird any kind of conspiracy or paranormal or anything, I pretty much know about it. But the Nibiru thing has been out a long time, especially it was really hot in 2008. But now we're seeing it come back. And not only, I'm sorry, but not only 2008, but 2012 because of the whole 2012 thing. It was really hot then too, but go ahead.
No, it's cool. I was going to mention that somebody else on YouTube mentioned that, like, the whole Nibiru thing was actually Saturn. I mean, with its 16 moons or whatever.
Well, Nibiru was supposed to have a lot of trailing planets behind it anyway, and I don't really see how it could be Saturn, and that doesn't follow along with what the ancient Sumerian texts supposedly say, if you believe Sitchin's and other people's interpretations of those texts. But that's what I've always heard is that Nibiru actually had it. What's worrying me is you're starting to see a lot of
real quick. Nibiru is come and gone. That's not Nibiru you're seeing in the sky. Just sorry to interject. That's not Nibiru.
Yeah, I'm like indifferent on that, bro. I just don't know about Nibiru. I mean, it's if it's a coming, it's a coming, and I can't do anything about it. But it's strange.
I feel that way too.
Yeah, but it's strange. We're seeing these double sun pictures everywhere and stuff like that. I mean, it's gone up again for some reason, and I'm not sure if that's being pushed and it's a psyop, but it just seems like a weird psyop to do. I don't know.
I know for a fact because I videotaped myself the sun and the moon out at 3:00 in the evening together.
I've seen that a lot of
seen that,
times.
and so I don't know.
Yeah, but that's more of a flat. That's more of a flat Earth issue, though.
Yeah. Listen, how many people have you? How many of you in the audience or whatever? How many of you think that the sky is photoshopped? And I mean, how many of you think that it could be possible?
What do you mean Photoshop?
Yeah, explain that.
Well, I mean, like the clouds and everything.
Holographic.
Just seems the way it's turned.
It's like a projection.
I think that would have to be one hell of a projector to do it everywhere. You know,
Well,
if we were just
Again,
go
this is
ahead.
not truth. I'm just proposing an idea.
Yeah.
Well, well, I guess that idea can be a little true because why they always spraying them chemtrails? Why every time you see they got these little small clouds? So what can they project off of them chemicals?
Off the
So
cloud. Right. Anybody ever heard of Project Bluebeam?
Yeah.
yeah, me too. I heard
I'm
that.
actually
So-
I'm worried about Bluebeam because, to tell you the truth, I think there's a alien deception going on, and they could actually use that. I'm along the lines of thinking that they could fake an invasion with Bluebeam. And
I've heard about that.
but has it been out there so much that they can't use it now though? Have you thought about that? Because I mean, you asked about it. It's actually a kind of a well-known thing.
Right, but a lot of people aren't paying attention. Like, you could bring this stuff up to anybody. Like, I've been talking to people and they just don't care, or they think I'm crazy.
I hear you, man. Keep on keeping on though.
Yeah, don't give up.
Yeah.
Cause I think I seen them talking about it at CERN, how they can make clouds and how they can form clouds in this machine.
That's HARP. It's not CERN. It's HARP.
Well, HARP. You know what I'm saying? And so, hey, I don't put nothing past them.
Oh, I don't either.
Well, the thing is, you're asking the wrong question. So let's say it's all fake. So what? It's a holographic. It's a whatever. What's beyond that? That's the question you should be asking. What is beyond that?
Well, Harmony, here's what I'm thinking. We may be living in a holographic universe, right?
Right.
Like physics and everything, right? But most people are living in another matrix, and it's called the media and TV in general.
Oh, yep.
That's a whole matrix within another matrix.
Yeah, and then go beyond that and go beyond that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all of it.
Right then, you got the believers in the Bible. Yeah, I know.
See,
It's
I
like,
thought I woke up in 2005. Oh, I didn't know anything in 2005 or earlier. Go ahead.
Well, let me put this question out there for you in the audience as well, all of the viewers. I want to know, like, when did you discover the Mandela effect? Was it like 2015? Was it 2001? I mean, some people have even researched the Mandela effect in the 80s.
2 months ago.
I want to know, like, when did you guys discover it?
I've heard of that concept a long time ago, but I didn't actually experience it until late 2014, like I said, going through the grocery store. And then it wasn't until somebody had a name for it that I was like, whoa, this is a thing. And then I started researching it like I do everything else.
I noticed product changes, I want to say 2014 as well. And but I had just put it off as name changes, product changes, they change names, I just said, okay, whatever. But I didn't hear any or see any videos until November of 2016, and I thought people were just crazy. And then, when I woke up, I was like, holy cow, I can't believe I felt that way.
Chris, which one woke you up?
Fruit Loops. Oh, you mean like the actual waking up?
Well, no. Which Mandela effect did you go? Okay, this is
mirror.
Well,
wow.
For me, it was Ford, the Ford logo and C3PO.
Huh.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
hey, I gotta say something about C3PO. I was the first one on YouTube with that video.
You were.
Yeah. And I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, because that other leg reflects off the other leg. I don't know if I didn't notice it, but you know how it is. You can doubt yourself sometimes.
You can't mistake that. Come on.
My brother.
Well, I got a couple of my doubters too. I'm like, wait, hold on.
What about Tupac's wife? That blew me away.
Tupac has a wife?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything about his wife.
Tupac has a wife? Are you kidding me?
Oh,
yes,
absolutely.
he had a wife.
No, I didn't know that one.
Oh, yeah.
So what?
No, You gotta be kidding me.
So he didn't in your reality?
Hell no,
No.
Tupac didn't have
No.
a wife.
I mean,
I
I've
don't know.
never heard he had a wife. I mean,
Nah, Tupac never had a wife.
I figured
And
he had a bunch
had
of
a wife.
And
girlfriends.
he got a medal too at the end. He got a medal.
For what?
Here he didn't get a medal. Tupac didn't get a medal.
Huh.
Oh, yeah, the Wookiee never got the
A
medal
medal
in
for
this
what?
reality.
Yeah.
No, he
A
got
medal
the
for what?
shaft.
Yeah, he got the shaft, man.
Yeah. But hey, I want to say something a little different here. You know, I was thinking about this reality being simulated. It's not so much simulated; it's like a pattern of like a massive computer program. Because I was thinking about these Mandela changes. You know, it seems like somebody went ahead in the programming, and when they change something, like Control All, and they change a certain letter, then everything gets changed across the spectrum according to that product. It behaves a lot like a computer program.
Yeah.
It's not like a computer program, and I guess your ones and zeros are analogous to the Planck's length and Planck's constant being there or not, and that's what the resolution is down to, is Planck's constant. That's the reason why scientists say this is the smallest unit of space, and Planck's time is the smallest length of time for the speed of light to travel through Planck's length. And there you have the four-dimensional universe, because you got three of space and one of time. That's why they call it space-time. And according to our five senses, our natural body of this whole reality, the only thing we can understand or comprehend is the three dimensions of space and one of time. Anything outside that, we can't comprehend that. We're like in a box, and somehow either God or Satan, well, Satan's always under God's rule. I mean, God allows him to do his foolishness, but God's final authority. But I believe that's what's happening.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
the point is, no matter where you
But
are,
in
no
the
matter what you
same
think this
vein,
is,
though, like, how come
Yeah.
you got people like us, and then everybody else thinks we're
well,
crazy?
God chooses. I think
well,
God chooses
wait,
who He
wait,
wants to bring out
guys.
to.
I'm sorry to interrupt. What I have to say, I believe is critical. So I do apologize for interrupting everybody in the
Sure.
panel. But basically, it doesn't matter if it's a flat Earth, if it's a round Earth, if everything's fake, if there's a dome, if there's something out there, if it's a holographic universe, if it's a simulation, if it's CERN, if it's D-Wave, if it's this. You can go through every single thing
Theory. Right.
imaginable, and at the end of the day, it all boils back to you are you. You are here. You are experiencing this reality. You are looking around this room. You are you, and you're experiencing reality. What do you want reality to be? Simply wake up to who you truly are. It doesn't matter what your surroundings are. Wake up to who you are.
No. Harmony. This is why it matters. If I thought, let's put it this way. If I thought I was living in a dome, okay. Let's go flat Earth.
All right, let's go there.
Theory.
I'm a flat expert, by the way.
I'll put it this way. I'm not going to say I'm a flat earther, but I leave it open. You know what I mean?
Go out there.
But I got to tell you, I got to tell you this. If I knew that I was living in a domed structure,
yes,
I would have grew up way more religious, because God is closer.
Really?
Yeah, it's and also, as you know, it some people read in the Bible that it's flat, and there's one verse that kind of questions that. It's up to you whether you say the Bible would do that or not, but just from a religious point, right? But from another point, why it matters what kind of situation we're living in is because, especially if we were lied to about it, and we need to know what our past is. They've also lied about our past for sure, or at the very least, they've gotten history wrong.
So my point is, these are all distractors, and forget about wondering about where you came from and all the past. All that is completely irrelevant in reality. The only thing that matters is that you are you, and you are who you are, and simply remember who you are and be who you are, and get connected back to the universe, and forget all these distractions. They're empty and they're meaningless.
Now watch this. Watch this. I'm sorry. I don't know. I gotta say I'm sorry in the beginning of this, but
yeah, go on. I know.
I know for a fact. I know for a fact that this I understand you take the positive road, but some of this stuff I don't believe is positive.
Well,
I
you want
don't
to
believe
fight the negative. I have a group that we go out and we do missions. We
not
do
the negative, not the negative, but this stuff is happening that we can't explain. I mean, we can take all these theories, like you said, and we can try to explain it.
Stop talking about the problem. Let's talk about the solution.
I'll tell you what. Hey,
Form a group, get together, and pray, meditate, go out, astral project, remote view, whatever. Expand your energy out in the universe and get rid of all that negative stuff.
But if somebody else is doing it, if somebody else is doing it, how can we fight against something that's supernatural?
Hey, harmony. This is. I was thinking about this too. Now you know about lucid dreaming.
Yes.
Okay. You know how when you're in a dream, most people don't realize they're in a dream, but in lucid dreaming, you're awakened to the fact that you're in a dream. And once you're awakened to that fact, you could change the outcome of your dream. And they use it a lot for healing and all that stuff in the psychological realm, plus the Buddhist, and they use that to change that. And plus even the Christians, we have like dream interpretation, all that.
That's what prayer is. Prayer is tapping into that realm.
Right, but what I'm saying now this is another pattern of like I said with the reality with the computer program. Now your mind, you're in the dream. That's one reality when you're in the sleep. But when you're awake, you think this is static. It's all the same. So you feel like I can't. Yeah, I know.
Your dreams are more real than the waking life.
Right, that's closer to the spirit realm. That's why
you have to realize that your dreams are more real than the waking life.
And they do say
you control reality while you sleep. We are a collective consciousness as we sleep, and we all connect, and we determine what reality should be. The thing is, we're asleep, we're not connected. That's what I'm saying. Digital. I can teach you. We need to begin to start teaching each other and become more awake and get connected.
Right, you're right about that. I want to make a point, but when you're awake in this reality, the thing is, I'm realizing that we may have the authority, the power to change our reality here and the now. And the Bible says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. All this stuff is done by faith. You believe it, you believe in your heart, and we believe that it's already done, it's already there, it's already reality. And then
if I may interject real quickly, Jesus Christ said, if you had faith as tiny as a mustard seed, and a mustard seed is pretty tiny. So if you had faith just that tiny, you could say to that mountain over there, move, and it would move.
Correct. Absolutely.
What prevents that mountain from moving is that itty teeny tiny little bit of doubt. If you remove all the doubt, and how do you remove the doubt? You realize that you are not really a biological unit. You are one of the most powerful beings in all of existence, just inhabiting a biological unit. Get the humanness out of the way. Take your humanness out of the way, move it to the side, let your true self come in, take command, get connected back to true source creator, begin to shine like a pillar of light onto the world, and energize the planet. And that's what I'm teaching people to do. So I shouldn't preach on your channel, but
thank you for bringing that to our attention. I'll definitely leave a link to your channel in the comments. Thank you.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
Hey, I've been trying to think of a way to interrupt, but I can't. So I'm going to use this time to interrupt. I typed it in chat and I said, we need to ask the question, why this is happening and where is it going?
Wait, why? What isn't happening?
Why is this happening, and where is it going?
I could answer that question, but I don't want to take the floor.
That's what my concern is. I understand. I mean, he makes a good point about the energy and all that, but I don't see it. I think, the Bible says we can't be ignorant of the devil's devices. And then when we become ignorant of what can be possible, we can make ourselves so dumb where we believe it's us, and it's not us. It's a device that the devil is using to trick us up and we thinking it's positive, and it's become negative, and now we become stuck into the rift or into that black hole or that current because we don't expand our boundaries to say some of this may not be good. Some of it may be a device or some kind of entity or government assistance body that's
Well,
tampering with things that they shouldn't.
you are correct. We live in a reality of duality where there's positive, there's negative. So you are correct, and you are trying to let the audience and people know, there's some caution here. There's some red flags. There's some warning. Tread lightly. Is that what you're trying to say? Really?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, and I agree. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. You preached it well.
Nobody wants to listen, though. Nobody wants
Well,
to listen.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
they do. Yeah, they do. You got to start knowing people. I'm in sales for a living. And you just got to know people, and you can't bring this up to everybody. You can if that's your choice, but I'm just telling you the way I handle it. If I'm talking to some people and they seem pretty cool and open minded, I might ask them some questions like that. And you never know. I get a lot of stories that way, but you can't, your boss may not be the best person to talk to them about the Mandela effect with. You know what I'm
That's right.
saying?
That's right.
But there are a lot of people out there that want to talk. That's the only reason why I'm on here tonight. The only reason why I make videos is because I don't have a whole lot of people to talk to about it. And I can, and so they're out there. There are a lot of awake people, man. There are a lot more awake people now.
So
At least question.
I believe it. But so far, you guys are the only
Hold on,
people
Rena.
that I know that will talk about this stuff. Because
Are you still there?
people that I grew up with, like, I'll just drop little seeds, little questions, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, whatever." Like, I'm like,
That's when you got to back off, man, sometimes,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's lonely.
No, I hear you. I want to say that's why I came on here, because I just want to talk to like-minded people.
Right.
Guys, I'm getting some calls coming through. It's good stuff here. I mean, there's probably like 3 people on the line. Hey, guys.
Well, Amy,
we got some questions from the audience. Okay, guys, is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. First one up. Let's see, Rena, you were the first one up. Can you go ahead and talk about some stuff? You worked at Hillshire Farms, is that right?
Yep. I was a security guard there for a year, and you know what? They did call it Hillshire Brands, but it was always Hillshire Farms. Like it's a certain part inside of the plant. It's conjoined. Has like different brands of food, like Tyson and Sara Lee and Jimmy Dean. All of that is incorporated in one place. So when they more open to it all, that's when they put it all together as Hillshire Brands. But it was Hillshire Farms, and that's how everyone around here knows it.
Yeah, and you work there, so you know it to be true.
Yep, I did paperwork every single day, all the time. I had to take truckers in, and then I'm looking at the paperwork of what they're carrying. Always Hillshire Farms.
And she told me she even tried to find like stuff like on her resume. Didn't your resume change too?
It did. I looked at like the emails and everything, and they were all linked to Sara Lee then. My resume, I know I put down Hillshire Farms, and it mysteriously changed to Hillshire Brands. So I couldn't figure that one out. I was pretty angry. I can't find any of my old paycheck stuff.
Wow.
It seems like all this stuff just vanished into thin air.
So, and that happens with the Mandela effect. That's what we're concerned about, is that, there's one theory that we could be erased. Kind of worry about. But what is so that one resonates with you for sure. What about the Orville Redenbach?
Ask her about Sara Lee's.
Sara Lee's phrase. What was their catchphrase?
Yes.
Nobody does it like Sara Lee.
Yeah, nobody does it like Sara Lee.
No, it doesn't.
Nobody does it like Sarah Lee.
It actually doesn't. So what's going on with that bakery is what I'm thinking.
A lot of foul smelling stuff going on.
Because
Yeah,
I
me.
didn't know that until she said that. You know that Sarah Lee was actually within that company. So
I mean, so, and that's what I'm afraid of too. Like Brian said, is if this is a computer simulation or D-Wave or CERN or whoever, if we not careful,
Thanks, Danielle. Appreciate
they,
it.
they can delete us.
that's true. If that was true, they could delete us. But I don't think anybody has control over the simulation like that.
Hey, next question.
Hopefully.
Next question. Who's 740? Hey, buddy. What's your name?
I'm Tyler.
Hey, Tyler. What's up, man?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, man. Go ahead and elaborate.
And my thing was I wanted to know why our memories, first of all, why do we remember? And second of all, why are there people that remember things so distinctively and they share distinctively from other people that remember the Mandela effect? I'm not talking about people that don't remember the Mandela effect. I'm talking about people that believe in the Mandela effect, but yet have distinctively different memories. The flat Earth, that's aside from a sphere, that's aside from any of those other questions. This is something that rarely is addressed. There's people that seem to come from different realities. Have you guys talked about that?
Anyone want to take a crack at that one?
I do. Okay, let me take it real quick. The fact that seems to be happening, the fact that seems to be happening, it seems like it was actually ourselves that have gone somewhere and not the actual world around us has changed. Does that make sense? It's like since we have memories of it, I think it's us that has actually changed as opposed to the current reality that we're living in.
Yes,
And yeah, a lot of people think about this. It's, go ahead, Brian.
No, I was gonna say I think Moneybags brought that up on one of his videos, if I remember correctly. He did bring that up that we're not changing. We're the ones that are changing, not the world around us.
Right. It just makes more. Yeah, it makes more sense, and that is the MO of the Mandela effect. It's like things have always been that way. We just have the memories of it another way, and not all of us have the same. Some people remember it the wrong way to me, so it's very confusing. It is multiple timelines or something involved in this because of the complexity of that. It's not just like we have two groups either. Either you have them or you don't. You have almost everybody's Mandela effects are misaligned. You may have the same one, a couple of the same ones, and then you have a bunch that are different. So it's pretty messed up.
I'm kind of turning toward I'm kind of turning toward He-Man's idea where the DNA maybe possibly vibrates at a higher frequency.
I think we're on different frequencies. And you know what? I just thought about that though, because like I was saying earlier, I have photos that's in my photo library that I ain't never took. So some reason that frequency, that whatever my frequency was, had changed at a point that I didn't feel it. And so because we all is digital information, it's just like when you go to the doctor and they hook you up on a heart machine. They check your electric current inside of your body. So we all have some kind of frequency and electrical currents that's happening. And so when them frequencies off balance, we become off balance. That's why I think some people's memories are different or similar. Some people's are sharper than others, and then it depends on how your memory is. Some people just don't got good memory.
That is a fact, and that's why skeptics are questioning our channel. I can't tell you how many skeptics I've come across. I know you probably hit across some. I know Harmony has a lot of skeptics.
I get trolled.
It's tough, but you want to be true in spirit and love, and you don't want to deceive anyone either, and you want to. Am I right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a little bit of responsibility, I think, when you have a channel. I mean,
A whole
if
lot.
you accidentally do something, then that's okay, but you still got to be vigilant on that, and that's something I've worried about a lot, and especially when the Bible changes started going around, I really started questioning what I was doing.
Exactly. And I want to ask you guys, how many of you, let's see, Truth, you have your channel. Damien, you don't really have your channel established yet, but how many of us are actually making money with this? I know I'm not. I will not make money.
Me either.
I will not do that.
I have actually made
YouTube won't even let me make
some
any
money.
videos more than 10 seconds long. They won't.
Well, I mean, that's all good and all.
Every time I try to make a video, it won't let me.
But what?
I've made a little bit of money.
Anyone's money for this? That's just my thing. I'm trying to get the word out there to folks in a positive way. We have another question. Actually, another caller. We have two questions. Two questions coming through here.
Well, real quick, since somebody asked a question, this is Harmony. I'll let you guys know. I average $10 an hour for the time of work I put in my YouTube channel. That's what I used to make, but right now there's a battle where there's no sponsors, so we don't make any money on ads anymore. So now I make nothing.
Yeah, I want to chime in on that too.
I used to make $30 a video. Now I'm making like $2 a video.
Well, a lot of people got YouTube Red now too, so they don't get ads.
Well,
no,
no,
I make money on
actually,
YouTube Red.
Yeah, Red pays us also.
Red pays us. Yeah, Red pays us.
But guys, if you put all the hours, like Harmony had it down to what he was making an hour, but I have made a little bit off the channel, but like he said, now the ad revenues have tanked. That's a whole nother conspiracy in itself, because they're trying to shut all the channels down. And like me, I've been working 6 days a week for a while now, and it's just like I think the best month I ever had was a couple $100, and that's why I bought this headset and just kind of put it back into it. But I don't see any problem with that. I would never ask for money on what is it? Those websites that let you donate. I don't feel like my channel needs to do any of that. But if I could make some money off some advertising and maybe buy a new headset every once in a while or something, that's
cool because you're putting money back in. I understand that, but we're not trying to buy with any of the money that we're making. Am I right?
Right, but the people who are making a living off their channel, and by no means my channel ever came close and didn't dream of it. Those people are hurting right now because they can't make a living anymore. I mean, and they're shutting a lot of good work, and those people can't put out videos like they used to because they have to go to work now, and they almost really deserve the job on YouTube if they're that popular. So that's the way I think about it.
Hey Brian, I thank you for letting me come on, but my battery on my phone is about to die, and I ain't got much.
These batteries don't seem to last long enough these days. E-Man, I really enjoyed you on my show, man.
Oh, thank you. Anytime you want me, just tag me.
Hey, God bless you, brother.
And thank you all for letting me be on with you all. And see you all. All right,
it's good talking to you, Freedom.
Yes.
Okay, man. We'll see you later. Hey, hey guys, we have another caller from 813. Jared, you're on the line.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, man.
Hey.
Tell us.
Question?
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your background or whatever. Tell us a little bit about Mandela effects. Yeah, go ahead. Tell us your experience.
Oh, okay. This is a pretty good question, actually. So it started for me actually about 2 years ago before I knew it was called the Mandela effect. It was the Berenstein Bears theory, which is what I was heard. That's what I was told because a friend of mine was like, dude, you got to check this out. And I was like, what's going on? And he was like, do you remember the books and the TV show, The Berenstein Bears? And I was like, yeah, man, it was one of my favorite shows as a kid. It's not called Berenstein Bears. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, well, go look it up. And I was like, all right. So I looked it up. And sure enough, it was Berenstain. And that, like, struck me as so odd, but, you know, I didn't really think anything of it at first. I was like, maybe I did misremember it. But then I was asking my mom and my brothers about it, and they all were, like, questioning it, too, especially my mom, because she was like, no, I bought all those books for you when you were younger, and I clearly remember it being Berenstein.
Okay, I want to ask you, when did it change for you? Like when was the first time you said it? You was like 2000 what?
It was like probably, I probably noticed it in like last year.
Wow, that is
a year and a half ago.
That one right there, the Berenstein Bears, is practically the mother of all Mandela effects. But what's another major one for you, real quick, while you're on the line?
Here, this is where it really started for me. Like, this is when I was really starting to question like what was going on. So when I had first heard that Darth Vader actually never said, "Luke, I am your father," kind of struck me as odd because even though I wasn't a huge Star Wars fan, I knew a bunch of people that were. Like, a lot of my friends are they're really close to Star Wars, and so they know like everything there is to know about the movies. And even they were like puzzled as to why there was no Luke, I am your father. Instead, it was, "No, I am your father." And then from there on, I started noticing other things that were like odd to me, like with the way things were spelled. And then I found Moneybags' YouTube channel. Shout out to Moneybags because he's like the main source for me besides you. And you know, it's just from there it's been crazy because now I have been so akin to seeing these things that are wrong that I remember. And you know, the most recent one that kind of got me, that kind of threw me off, was the Hillshire Farm one, which you were talking about. A Walmart neighborhood market. Mm-hmm. So I deal with food all the time. And I was wasn't working that day. I was shopping for food. And I was in the deli section looking to find something to get. And I happened to see that Hillshire Farms was not Hillshire Farms. It was missing the S. And I was like, that's weird. Because I clearly remember there being an S, because I used to like always repeat that stupid commercial they'd play that when I say Hillshire, you say Farms, Hillshire Farm, go meet. Like, it was so annoying because it would come on all the time, but it was stuck in my head. I mentioned it to my girlfriend to see what she thought, because I wanted to see if I was going crazy or not. So I asked her if she remembered what the commercial was, and she was like, of course. And then I told her to recite it to me, and she said it the exact same way that I said it. Wow. And then when I showed her that it was not Hillshire Farms, she freaked out because she was like, "No, that's not right. Like, it was definitely Hillshire Farms."
Well, let me ask you, because some companies will do this, like when they get sued, you know, they can possibly change their name. You know, that's what I was thinking with the Mandela effect. Like, some of these, but then when you see more than one doing it, like, you know, you see a trend, like something's happening for real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I looked into that too. I was making, like, with the Ford logo, for instance. Ever thought that there's actually residue like near where I live. I live in a town called Brandon in Florida, and there's a restaurant called Ford's Garage, which is literally based off of Ford. And the logo, to this day, I drive by it all the time. And I had pictures of it, and I'll go take pictures of it again and send it to you so you can see it.
Awesome.
Or
That's
you can
great.
look it up on
Residue.
Google, because they're on Google too, but I'll still take pictures to prove it to you. When you look at the logo, there's no squiggly line. It's just a little straight line like everyone else remembers.
That's because they painted it. They painted it, and that leaves residue because it's kind of like art. Then you see what I'm saying? That's
Like
pretty
graffiti?
cool. Yeah, I think what he's saying is really cool. No, because it sounds like it was Ford's garage, but it wasn't an official Ford sign, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not an official.
When you go inside the restaurant and you look on the wall, there's a bunch of plaques and signs, and most of the signs on the wall have the squiggly line.
Huh.
Weird. It's the weirdest thing.
I know. I can. It's almost like with some of these. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just think it's hard to find Ford residue in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think I'd find it here, but I don't.
I know.
I want to add something else.
Okay.
Somebody said something earlier about how there's like not a lot of people that I think they said something along the lines of it's mostly people see a bunch of Mandela effect and then or don't see it, but there's one experience that one example that I've had that I've always remembered the way it is now, but a lot of the other Mandela effects I remembered the other ways that people remember it. Like, for example, the Oscar Mayer thing, it being M-E-Y-E-R, I've never remembered it that way. I remember as a kid going into the store and spelling it M-A-Y-E-R, and I always thought it looked silly, and I would always pronounce it Mayer because of the way it was spelled.
and that helps too when a lot of the time that if we're actually pronunciating, like a lot of us say milk instead of milk, and it leads people to believe that it may be K. I mean, I'm for we should teach our kids how to pronunciate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
The Fruit Loops one, that one kind of baffled me too, because I clearly remembered it being spelled normally, but all of my brothers remembered it ever since they were little as F-R-O-O-T, and my mom even remembered it that way, and I was just like, that's weird.
There's too many O's. There's too many O's on the box now.
That's what I was saying.
I mean, really, I agree.
Captain Crunch.
I just, the Mandela effect, it baffles me altogether because, it doesn't make sense. Why is it really happening? What really is going on? And I'd like to believe that it's a lot of misremembering, but there's too much certain things. It's not. For example, the I Love Lucy quote, the Lucy, you got some explaining to do. That one is definitely not misremembering anything, because my mom is a diehard Lucy fan, and she owns every single Lucy movie or whatever and TV show episode that there is for it, and she swears up and down that she even described what the episode was when it happened. She described to me what they were doing right before he came in and said, "Lucy, you got some explain." It's crazy because I told her, I was like, it doesn't exist.
Can I say something on that?
Wrong.
That
yeah, sure. Truth, go ahead. You were about to say something.
So these are two good ones. The Luke, because he's mentioned these. Luke, I am your father, and the Lucy one. Okay, why those are important is because I can remember how Darth Vader used to say that. Okay, the argument against the Star Wars one is that maybe everybody, when I was walking up to my friends, I would go, Luke, I'm your father, instead of quoting the actual movie is what some people are saying. But here's what I think. I actually remember how Darth Vader says that. Not just what he said, but even the pauses and everything. I used to like to do a lot of impersonations and stuff, and I just remember that. And I also remember Lucy saying that and how she said it. And now that it's, I'm trying to say it makes it a stronger Mandela effect to you personally when you remember them and remember the details of how they said it. Because a lot of people are saying that, like the Luke, I'm your father. If you were on the street trying to just say that scene, right, it wouldn't make any sense to go, no, I'm your father. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, brother.
Yeah.
It's like the movie lines are changing. The one that did it for me was the one that blew me away and made the hair on the back of my neck stand up literally was if you build it, they will come is now if you build it, he will come.
Oh, big time. Yeah. Yeah.
We all know that one from Field of Dreams.
What about The Wizard of Oz?
Which one? Which one? The one.
The original.
No. I'm talking about. I know the one.
Gun?
Yeah, that's mine. The gun.
He never had a gun.
None of them had anything. One of them had a net. Somebody had a wrench.
Yeah.
I've got another question.
Sure. One more question. That's cool. Go ahead, Jared.
All right. Which Mandela effects, and this applies to anyone. Anyone can answer this. Which Mandela effects do you not agree with whatsoever that you think is just completely like, no, this isn't a Mandela effect?
That is a great question.
I have a bunch of those. Those are like my pet peeves sometimes. I'll make mine quick. I don't think we should count the animals as Mandela effects.
I don't either.
That really gets on my nerves, but people can do what they want to do. Because just because you've never seen something before is not enough to make it a Mandela effect. There's a lot of species of insects and everything out there. Am I saying that it's impossible? No, there could be new animals on the planet, but we can't. There's nothing to, unless you know all the species by heart, you just can't go at it that way.
Yeah, if you were an actual like studier of animals and you were out in the field, you know what I mean? That would make more sense.
You would still run up against ones you've never seen or read about before, though. There's that many.
That is true. So that brings about the skeptics. Okay, from their end, I understand that portion. So we should just kind of stay away from animals.
Well, like I said,
effect.
everybody do what you want. I'm just saying, I don't think as a community or whatever we should go about it in a very non-scientific way. I mean, not that it is to begin with, I guess, but that's just my opinion on the Mandanimals.
Hey, Jared, thank you very much. I appreciate your time, buddy. Thank you for calling. Have a good night, okay?
All right.
God bless you, my friend. 815, you're up next. What's your name and what's your Mandela effect?
My name's Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
I guess the eye-opener for me was finding out about a year ago. My daughter had brought it up to me about a year and a half ago. And she was young, and I just kind of blew it off. So about a year ago, I learned that I had polycystic kidney disease. And about a year ago, I learned that they're not where they're supposed to be. And I had kidney infections when I was younger, so I know where the pain radiated from. It's not there. It's changed now. The pain is different.
I agree with that.
So I guess my question is, what's your guys' take on, and I don't want to make this biblical, but what's your take on the, on the Bible,
Thanks, Harmony. Thanks, Harmony's. Hey, guys, real quick, Harmony's checking out. Let's say thanks and goodbye.
Bye, Harmony. Bye, Harmony.
Have a good night.
Hey, God bless you,
Harmony.
brother. Thank you for being a light. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, my friend.
That's all right. I guess I was going to ask is what's your take on like Bible verses and stuff like that, the Mandela effect? Like I remember reading "The Children Shall Lead." I heard you earlier saying that it was all kids that were bringing this out in the open when it first started, and it said that children shall lead. What's your take on that?
Well, I've seen different versions of children being mentioned in the Bible. Now, I'm not like super strong on the Bible, so I really can't say. MsEman is gone. He was our preacher for tonight.
All right.
And I will get more preachers on here and more people who are stronger with the Bible. Aaron in the chat can probably help answer some of those questions if you ask Aaron. But the children of Israel, I is what I recall. Again, I'm sorry, I can't answer that one. Any of you guys can tackle that one?
I would like to say that just about the Bible changes in general, they seem to be happening because there are so many people. I mean, there are people handwriting their Bibles out, and trust me, there are a lot of people that this is happening to. That's what I know for sure. I looked up the Lord's Prayer one, right? Because that one was different for me. And what I found was that there's several versions of the Lord's Prayer. And even though the one I know you would think should be the one in the KJV, well, it isn't. It's in another Bible. And you would think that the Lord's Prayer would only have one prayer, or, you know, one translation of it, but there's several. But that doesn't mean it's not happening. I just couldn't prove that. I was trying to vet the Lord's Prayer, and from what's happened to me, I just found it to be a case of the version that my parents learned, right? Because they're the one that usually teaches the kid the Lord's Prayer. They taught me the one they knew from their church a long time ago, and their church didn't say the Lord's Prayer exactly like the KJV. So that's all I like to say about that one. It's a good subject, but I'm kind of like Brian. I don't know my Bible backwards and forwards to know all the verses.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I
And
don't
if they
either.
changed.
Hey, it's okay, brother. Not to worry. I mean, God is with us. He is going to solve everything through our Lord Jesus Christ. You know He will.
Yeah.
And no matter what questions you have, they all will be revealed. Okay? I'm a firm believer, you guys.
Me too.
Nothing. It says the good book says nothing in darkness can remain in darkness. Am I right?
Right.
And that
Right.
includes the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect will be exposed for what it is. So with that said, did you have any more questions about the Mandela effect? Any of them? Any personal ones besides what we talked about?
No, not really. I guess that was about it.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, and thank you for it takes guts to get up in front of people, and I thank you for calling in. Okay.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Hey, Brian.
We're gonna try to do more of these. I'm trying to see if we're going to be doing better in smaller groups. Right now, you see the way it is with like 4 or 5 people. There's not too much commotion, and we try to stay more positive. I'm really thinking about doing more of these, folks. More of these
You should.
live
I
videos.
hope you do.
Yeah.
It's my first time.
Hey, Brian. I just want to go back to the Lord's Prayer for a minute. Now,
sure.
I was never very religious. I was actually atheist for a long time, and then once I started seeing all these changes, especially with the Bible changes. I mean, I didn't know the Bible, but I know certain things, certain verses, and when those were changing, that kind of changed my mind on the whole atheist thing. And I've actually become more spiritual in the past month.
You know what, Chris?
Yeah.
You know what did it for me last year around January? No, I'm sorry, 2015, somewhere around January. I was looking into how politicians and people like that, some of them were into Satan worship.
Yeah.
And that led me into the whole Masons and this and that. And after studying it for a long time, I just came to the realization that that's actually happening.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
they control a lot of what's going on. And it's it's a lot of people are waking up, especially since last year. Just I couldn't stand to hear a sermon a couple of years ago, and now I'm listening to um, preachers that talk about demons. I'm trying to figure out how to have defenses for because I believe in demons.
Yeah.
I really do. I've had run-ins with demons, and some people may call them aliens, but check it out. Oh, after 20 years of looking into aliens and being taken, um, I was all into them being aliens and from another planet for years. But let me tell you something. It only makes sense when you put it in a biblical lens.
That sounds
All it does it all just it's the only thing that ties it all together.
I really want to add to this, guys. I know I've been quiet here tonight. I really like listening to everybody in an observation mode and including listening to ideas and have been for months. But I have to agree with that because one thing I've noticed is that with these changes, when I first saw them, I thought it's a natural thing. It's parallel universes. It's, somebody made a decision in this reality that Mickey Mouse would have a tail, and in the other one they didn't. But the more and more I've experienced them and seen them firsthand, there's something nefarious behind it because they're subtle changes and they're changes that, there's thought behind them. And that they're, for me, the big one was Darth Vader when I saw it change because it's made, or the changes are in such a way that it looks like reflections. And so I've noticed that about a lot of the effects, they have answers. There's another explanation for them. They're small enough that, it can be explained by marketing changes or you'll see things come out on the internet that explain them days after they appear. And they seem to come out of nowhere. And like somebody's been asking that question about them for a long time. It's too calculated.
That's the way I feel, Damien. Doesn't it seem like this is done on purpose?
It is. And
did you guys ever hear the Queen's Christmas speech when she said, "Enjoy your last Christmas"? Did anybody in here? Did you actually see it and watch it and hear her?
I didn't see the whole thing. I caught
Right, it's boring. I hear you. But did you hear her say?
But she did say that, but you cannot find it anywhere now.
Right now, that's the biggest video I've ever done. I have over 100,000 hits on it, and I basically discovered it. But I was freaking out because I watched that several times.
Yeah.
I never read the article. Now it's just an article. There's no video. She never says that. Yeah.
She said it, and I was freaking out when she said it. I was like, what does she mean, enjoy your last? Why did she say that? That's how I remember it.
Yeah, and everybody was making videos on it, and you know what I mean? It's crazy. That was a big one for me, and it was around December.
Yo, hey guys, can I say something here real quick? And again, we rock, okay? We're trying to get the word out there to everyone. UFO guy, Spaceman, admits his wife is 3 inches shorter now. How does that happen?
Wow.
I'm skeptical. Do you guys know who Bluebeard is?
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen his
Yes.
videos.
Everybody likes him. I'm not going to talk bad about him. I'm skeptical on that level of Mandela, but you know what?
Yeah.
It's possible. If the other things are happening, then maybe certain people are seeing personal ones. You know what I want to bring up is I went on a trip with my family a long time ago, and I brought it up to them. They never remember that trip ever happening,
Wow.
right? So that's kind of changed my mind on that a little bit, because I'm thinking, well, I just don't see how they don't remember going to Florida, and so I'm skeptical on that kind of thing. And his girlfriend being shorter, that I just don't know if that's Mandela or not. I mean, that's really hard to say.
Well, relationships have changed. That's another huge topic I wanted to discuss, because that's more on the emotional level with your family. Why is it some family members remember one way, and then some of them remember it your way, and then again, there's probably a third way too that they remember. Like, what is going on here? It's not just bad memory.
Do any of you feel like there's a different connection between some family members now? Yeah, like they're not really the same person. They look the same, but that spiritual connection you have with anybody that's close, it's gone.
Definitely.
Gone.
And it's weird. Like there's almost no love there where there should be. It's hard to describe. So yeah, that's bothering me. I want to say this, guys, since I have been looking at this for about a year and a half now, and other people have looked at it longer. I've been keeping an eye on to see if it's becoming more, if the Mandela effect sped up or what. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing the Mandela effects getting worse in scope. Okay.
Definitely.
Right? Is that what y'all are seeing? They're getting worse in what they can be and what is possible to change, because as before it was just some logos and some names and this and that.
Brian and I were talking about that before we started tonight. I mentioned they're speeding up, and they're a lot more in your face, bigger changes that. But I find also at the same time, though, the veil over people also seems stronger.
That's right.
Because of that. It's like I said, I keep going back to the Darth Vader one, but I'm like, millions of people recognize this character. I mean, it's one of the most well-known movie villains of all time.
This is the most important scene in the whole
and
that's what I'm saying. Like, you see how popular Star Wars is, right? Why is no one talking about this change? You know what I'm saying? That's a big. Why are we the only ones talking about it?
Well, it didn't change for everybody. You can talk to some other hardcore Star Wars fans, and to them, they said it's always been no. So what you got to realize is not everybody, even if they were paying attention to it, not everybody actually has the Mandela effect. So there's almost no use in talking to them about it if they're arguing with you if they didn't have it, because they're right too. Because in their reality, it was never that way. So,
Abnormal. I'm gonna challenge this a little bit. I don't think you were in here at the beginning when I shared or talked about the changes with Darth Vader, the silver nose, the silver pieces on his face, and now his actual mask has silver on it. He's not all black.
Okay, in my reality, he had little dots, like maybe the screws were silver.
Yes, he had the screws.
And he's got more than that now. And I honestly don't think the screws were either. I think to me that was a Mandela effect, but again, I'm open to different people's experiences with it. I'm just going to bring this up here again real quick for you, because
residue or something. And you have a photo you want to share.
Well, and the reason I bring this up is I've actually had people who don't see the effect, and they say, no, he's still the same as he's always been. And I can walk them through, and it's like you can actually awaken them to it. And so you should be able to see it now, hopefully pretty soon here on your screen. Whoops. I don't know if everybody can see it. I'm not seeing it on YouTube yet.
I'm hating you right now.
There we go. Now, if you look at his mask, look at his mask.
I'm hating you.
But do you see the silver neck? Do you see the silver left cheek, the silver lower cheek, around the eyes, the nose piece? Guys, he was all black before. But
you gotta be kidding me, dude.
But you know what? I bring this up to people, and they said, "Oh, it's reflections. It's reflections. It's the same." And you know what? I could see it that way, and I thought it's too calculated. It's made to look like it could be light reflections, and it's just the dark areas. You know,
I agree.
But it's not.
Man.
But it's not. And you can walk through the photos on Google, and you'll see it's always in the same areas, and it's actually a different color. It's silver. It's gray.
Okay, all right. In the movies, so I don't have to go look. Is there any scenes where
all of them have changed?
No, I mean, is it evident though? I mean, is that sucker silver as it could be, just like C-3PO's leg?
It is. It's like you can see here.
Oh my gosh!
But the movies are darker, and right, the darker there isn't the same lighting. So, but once you see this and you check those spots and recognize that left cheek, go through the movies, go through YouTube, go through your own DVDs or your own VHS tapes, pause them, and you'll see.
I can tell you,
same area.
Damien, I had the big Darth Vader doll, like the first.
Yeah,
I call it a doll, but it was a action figure or whatever, right? But
I'll bet you it's changed.
The only thing that had silver on it is the little control box that he has on. It might have had some red in it, like some buttons might have been red and silver. I know that for a fact, and I'm gonna have to go.
I know.
I have the movies on my hard drive here, so I'll watch them before I go to bed. But you're killing me, dude. You're killing
I know this one got
me.
I saw this happen in real time.
Why is Star Wars turning silver?
I don't know, but there's even pictures where his helmet looks silver as well in some pictures. It's crazy.
I can see maybe a high gloss black could reflect off of some silver, but that neck piece and all of that's isn't it around his eyes?
Wow. Well, look at there you go. Take a look.
You can't tell it. You can't tell it in the movie. Wait. The whole mask is different. Is that a real picture? Is that a real picture of Star Wars right there?
Now, the one on the left is Residue from Robot Chicken.
Okay.
That's the way I remember it. I remember it all.
And that is the old doll. But
there you go.
Seeing that his mask is all different now. He's got cheekbones or something.
I don't remember underneath the neck, the triangle piece either. It was just the triangle in the front. I don't remember the ridges on the nose either.
Oh my God.
And I know Brian clearly doesn't remember the ridge along the helmet. That one I can't recall.
I know I've had a lot of objection dealing with that, okay? But I know for my point of view, it never had that ridge down the center. Like
it looks a lot different, guys. And look, I watched Star Wars maybe 3 or 4 months ago.
And you wouldn't have seen it though. That's what I mean about this veil. You can watch it and you won't see it.
And you know what? Everybody's times don't line up either. You know,
that's why one thing I started thinking is it's more like a veil, and it's like it's that frequency thing, and when you are in tune with it, you cannot not see it anymore.
That's drastic, man. That is as bad as the A-Team van.
But you know what? But millions of people know this character, and so why? And they're not seeing it. You would think, and especially with May the 4th just passing,
right?
You think there'd be hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people saying, "What happened to him?" They're not. Right.
And
That's
I
right.
gotta say, the Star Wars Mandela effects make me sicker than any of the other ones. I don't know why, but like I was born in '74, and I was prime age to love Star Wars. You know what I mean?
What about Star Trek? Let's talk about that for a minute too. Like, does that one resonate with you at all? Beam me up, Scotty. That line has been removed.
That beam me up, Scotty,
They
is
even have
something
stickers.
that's been
They even
said
had
my whole life. Go ahead, dude.
they even have stickers for cars. It says
Yeah.
"Beam me up, Scotty." Little diamond shaped stickers that you put on your window back in the '80s. It said "Beam me up, Scotty." Now it doesn't exist anymore.
That's right.
Yeah, and I distinctly remember them saying "Beam me up, Scotty." You know, I have a firm memory on that.
That's the thing, though. I don't know if I remember Scotty or Kirk actually saying that,
Yeah.
but I just heard it my whole life.
I'm the same. I've heard the phrase over and over, but I can't recall. But you know what? This was brought up a few years back. I remember it being debated, and
Yeah.
people saying at that time this wasn't in. It was never in the movie at that time.
And
Well, the
so
thing
why would they do what would change the movies? It's like it's got to be on purpose. I'm with Damien. It's on purpose because that's just not accidental that they're adding silver to these characters in Star Wars. You know what I mean? Oh, the reason why I brought up the Queen and her message was because that is on purpose. Okay, so you're telling me if the Mandela effect is random, it just happened to change her really weird video disclosing some stuff and talking about have your last, have a nice last Christmas and all that. That's targeted, right? And
That's right.
that's what keeps bringing me back to time travel. But I mean, I don't know. It's targeted. It's crafted out, and it is done with some intelligence.
And it's such a subtle way too, isn't it?
Very subtle and crafty way.
And most of us that are affected, don't we have like more like attentive? We're like more attentive to details. Am I right?
I don't know if I've ever heard.
I've noticed that the people that are affected are more on the spiritual side.
They are, and you know what? A lot of them don't watch TV either. It's kind of.
I haven't watched TV in a
Yep.
years.
Same.
I haven't
Yeah, me
had
either.
it. I have not paid for cable in 20 years. So
Wow.
I watch my shows on the internet if I need to. So
And truth.
I don't even watch.
Just think
I
about.
don't watch nothing else.
that's good, dude. Don't watch the tube. It's brainwashing. Worse. Yeah, it's worse than y'all ever know. Watch my video about subliminal messages, dude. Do it. You'll see
Oh,
it.
it's all Illuminati these days.
Pretty
Illuminati.
much. I mean,
I have shows that I've watched for years, like The Walking Dead. I've watched that show ever since it came on. I tried to watch it this year, and I just could not do it. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I just can't. I can't watch TV anymore.
well, good. I mean, it's trying to persuade everybody's opinion and divide everybody, and it's bad. It makes me sick watching the news now. And
I know. It makes me sick,
right?
too.
Oh, Brian, man, it's like the only thing I'm doing when I'm watching the news, when I'm forced to watch it, or if you know what I mean, I'm sitting there thinking about what kind of spin they're telling and what lies going on, and it's sickening. I hate the vibe that all the news, all of it.
I agree with you there. Definitely, the news is so messed up these days. It all seems fake, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think they're taking our free speech away too. I think it's all headed in that direction. And they're trying to at least censor people.
Well, let's hope to God that doesn't happen, right? I mean, all we can do is fight for what we have left of our memories. That's what I believe in. That is the true solution. Follow Jesus. Don't take your eyes off of him. And not even for 1 minute. Right? You have to have the faith of Abraham, is what I believe.
Hey,
He
I
had,
agree.
Do
am
you
I right?
have a link to a handwritten? Didn't I see a link to a handwritten Bible under your?
Yes, yes.
I'm gonna check that out. I think that's cool. I wanted to bring that up to you because I saw that and I was like, oh, I gotta. That's awesome. And
Yeah,
it's
and
scanned.
yes, and I've had some help too from one lady. She's actually helped me. She did Psalms, I think, and several other books, and I got to get them scanned in too. It's, there's a lot of people handwriting it, so they
Yes.
have some kind of security.
Yep. So
Because
they can go back and look at it.
Change. I don't know
Yeah.
if y'all know about the little tiny Bibles, the New Testament Bibles. They're really small, like this big. Those didn't change. I checked.
What
Huh.
didn't change?
They have these little small like pocket Bibles of the New Testament.
You talking about the New Giddens or whatever? Or
It says New Testament. It's a little tiny Bible you can put in your pocket, but it's only the New Testament. But those did not change.
All right.
The big
You,
ones.
you need to get them. You need to get both versions and show us that. Well, first you have to find out what version that the small little testament that is. You know what I mean?
Okay.
What do you mean? What do you mean it didn't change? Well, What do you mean it didn't change? Like,
if you have that Bible, I want it, my friend.
Okay. Got you.
So I have a question.
Go ahead.
I have a question for you guys. Have you guys caught anything changing either right in front of your eyes or within an hour or within a night or where you saw it one way one
I don't
night?
think you can. I don't think you can see it.
You
I
can't.
don't think you can see it happen.
You
I don't
can't.
think you can because I think it's always been that way.
You can't see it happen.
I've seen it.
And then go back and then see it differently.
I watched Darth Vader's nose turn silver, and then I watched his, and I watched his not actually, but as I was flipping through pictures, it was changing along the way. And Brian can attest to this because I was emailing him at the time or texting him, and I'm sure he thought I lost my mind, and just saying, "Oh my God, he's turning entirely silver," and talking about his cheek. Now his cheek's silver. And then all of a sudden around his eyes were silver. And then all of a sudden his nose piece had ridges on it. I was watching it. And as I was changing my Google looks and looking at different photos, it was actually changing in real time.
That would have blew my mind.
It did blow my mind. And I let Brian hear it.
Oh my gosh.
But I also caught an interesting one. I caught was after MsEman came out with his video on all the half T's, and Brian had one as well, and I started looking myself.
No, wait. Did you say He-Man?
MsEman31 who was on here. The preacher man.
The preacher man.
Okay.
Yeah. He had a video about these half T's and how the Walmart was half T and they were appearing everywhere. And so I was going through Google and I started looking at brands that had lowercase t's, and I started writing them down, started looking them up on Google, and I would find them that weren't changed. And I started taking screenshots, about 4 screenshots of each Google search. And these were ones that were entirely the same. They weren't half t's. I did it for about maybe 12 different logos. And I was going through them every day, and I had about 4 shots for each one. So about 40 pictures I'd go through. And I would check every logo in that picture, and they all had normal T's. And I thought, I'm going to catch one of these if they change, because we know photos change as well. And I caught one. The green giant, I had the green giant on 4 photos. And all of a sudden one day, I think it was about a week and a half ago, I was looking back at those photos, checking them again, and I couldn't believe it. It looked like it was an entirely new logo, and I had these ingrained in my head by now because I'd looked them over so many times. And all of a sudden there was a green giant logo in there, and here's a picture of it, where all of a sudden it had half a T. And I hadn't seen this logo in this picture before. So I knew it changed in the photo. And so, of course, I went right on to Google. And sure enough, I found one logo in there up on the right-hand side there that had half a T. I went onto Green Giant's Facebook. It was their look back at posts.
Can you zoom in that picture so we can see that T better for the audience out there?
I see what he means. That's weird. It's weird.
Hang on.
You know, Beats by Dre is one too because it says Beats by Dr. Dre.
I've got it on here also. Whoops.
Yeah. I remember seeing that video about. I think Gemini Vision bought that.
Yeah, I used to sell them. So I mean, shoot.
So huge shout out to Gemini Vision. Thanks, brother.
You guys notice the horns on the letters on Poland Spring water?
The horns on what?
There's horns on the S now, on the top and the bottom, and on the P.
On whose logo?
Poland Spring.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. There have been so many logo changes, and they're changing every day almost.
Green Giant. Yeah, what's up with that half T?
But I couldn't believe it. So I actually caught it, and you know, and I think that's when, Brian, you started tracing logos from then. So it'll be interesting if we can go back over some of your videos over time and note changes. But,
yeah, I not only now when I trace them, I talk about them too. It's like the Applebee's. Teresa Lynch pointed that one out to me. The A and the P were connected one day, and I did a video on it. They looked like a 6. Well, now the P's are broken. The A and the P is actually broken.
Did you trace that one? Did you say you were tracing logos?
I wish I had traced it, but I did talk about it like the A and the P were connected like a 6. You know what I mean?
Right.
I did talk about it.
Can you still find the video?
Plus, I'm about to share with you guys. You see Ford's garage right here? That's a photograph that Jared shared. Do you see that?
Yep.
That is perfect residue for Ford's, and I got that one zoomed all the way in so you could see it.
And Brian, you know that like when something's hand drawn or whatever, it doesn't change, right? It's the same thing with that sign because that's not an official Ford sign. Somebody crafted that to look like the Ford logo, right?
Exactly.
Right.
And so that's why that is left over because it's an original. Can
you put that closer to the camera?
Brian, Hot Mess Mom wants to call in from the chat, just so you know.
Poland Spring.
Okay, who?
Hot Mess Mom.
I don't know what Poland Spring is, so I can't comment on that. Or I don't know that brand.
Yeah, exactly. I really can't say.
Oh, it's water.
It's a water brand.
I guess they don't have that here or something.
You see the horns on it though, on the S. That wasn't there before.
Yeah.
It could be a possible change. You know, it's important to document it. Like if you could like maybe do a video where you're tracing it and stuff. You know, because we're seeing like.
That's such a good idea, Brian.
We're seeing different shifts. You know, it's not just one shift with a logo. We're seeing multiple shifts here with, especially Ford. We're probably going to see more. So just.
Oh yeah, I thought it was going to stop.
I thought so too, but it's keeping on going. They're building more and more of these computers. How many computers?
I got another one.
They have quantum computers. There's like tons of them.
Yeah, now they're networking them.
Oh gosh.
They're networking them already. They're networking the supercomputers. Now, have you ever thought of what if these quantum computers are actually accessing the internet from alternate realities? That'll have you thinking for a while. You know?
That's true. I'm sorry. I'm not like zoning you out or anything. I'm checking the chats and trying to keep up with some of that stuff too. I'm sorry about that. I don't mean to be not paying attention at all.
I saw that Cosmic Newport. Yeah, Newport's changed.
Let me see that Newport again.
Yeah, let's look at that Newport. Newport changed again?
I know what a pack of Newports looks like.
Yeah,
I don't see anything. It's got a regular T.
Kind of
It's the
blurry.
R&T merged, right?
The R&T are merged.
Yeah, that's kind of getting common now.
That's very common.
Hey guys, look at the craft. That's another one I'm going to predict. Craft, the A and the R are merging together, like, you know, all these R's and A's. Oh, here's another one. Curad. Look at Curad, the bandage company. Curad.
It's spelled with a C, right?
Yeah, C-U-R-A-D, Curad, and look at the R and the A.
All right, guys, I gotta run.
Look at these.
Thanks,
There's
Cosmic.
tabs.
You gotta go, Cosmic.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Thanks,
All right,
Cosmic.
don't be a stranger, man.
I
Thanks
won't.
for joining.
Thanks
Glad
for
to have
having
you,
me.
brother.
Yes, yes, yes.
Amen. Keep being a light for everyone.
I will. Believe me.
You're not alone, man. You're not alone.
You are not alone.
No, you're not alone.
Hey, I want to say, man, these effects are really ramping up because when I first found out about it back in June last year, there was some, but now it's like every day. I mean, everything's going. I mean, everything's changing. And it's not like one little thing, like a 4 logo, like all the T's, because all those T's involve literally everything.
You know what did it for me was the JFK one, because it went from logos and movie lines and stuff like that to physical changes in what I remember.
I'm going to introduce a big one to you guys. Huge shift the day before yesterday, for me anyway. And again, I don't know if anybody's seeing it yet, but you mentioned about the Ford logo not being the only change in the VW. And you know what? A lot of the badges on cars are changing. The names, if they have A's, they either have the broken crossbar across the A now, or they have the broken complete triangle for the A's. Yeah. Even a 99 Pontiac Grand Prix that's sitting across the street from me, I used to have one. Went and looked, it's got and I thought they never had that back then. I know 120%.
How about
now in front of the
Florida Camry? Look at the Camry logo. It looks weird.
Camry was one of the first ones, I think, that I noticed a while back. Get this though, and this hit me on the way home. I drive 50 kilometers to work every day into the city center, and then 50 kilometers home every day. And I was driving home on Monday, or a couple nights ago, and I almost had to stop and pull over because I was going by vehicles, and literally as I was going by them, I started going, what's going on? They're different. This isn't right. And I was looking at their front grills, and I challenge you guys to do this. Go look at the front grills on vehicles right now. The Chevy Silverado. I live in Alberta, Canada. We're a big truck. You know, every other person has a truck. The Chevy Silverado fronts are completely different. The grills. They have bars that go right across the middle. They never did. Audis used to be open grills. The patterns on the grills have changed. There's bars across the Audi. Like just about every car has a different type of grill, a different type of front. I challenge you to go look and really think about them. And it floored me. I literally almost had to pull over and stop. It was like, because it was like reality hitting home again, and just feeling like you're in a completely different planet.
Damien, I'm still dying over Darth Vader.
Same here.
I mean, I'm going to have to go watch the movie. Like, I got to go in a minute because I got to get some Star Wars in before I pass out, because I've got to see it in the movie. I'm trying to think, what's the hidden meaning there? What's the clue?
And like Chevy badges and other badges are turning black and black backgrounds. Look at vehicles. There's a lot of changes with them. I've been watching for a while, and so they're really standing out for me.
Here's another one for you folks. This is kind of a freebie. I don't think I've done a video on it yet, but it was from 2003 up until like now. Hold on, let me see if I can screen share it real quick. Okay, look at this one, folks. Look at Gogurt. Do you remember it looking like a Volvo on the O?
Oh wow.
No, but I could have not noticed that. I don't know.
I've called to like McDonald's and stuff like that to see if, somebody from there could tell me, because they give out those Go-Gurts and the Happy Meals. I thought about asking them, some of those guys there, what they remember. But anyway, that's just one I wanted to bring up. Somebody.
What about Hellman's? Hellman's is the newest one I've had. It's not, because after a while the logos get kind of old. I mean,
I know,
but it's still more proof. And we need to keep up with it for data. But Hellman's is spelled differently to me. It actually spells hell in the logo now, and that's just off for me. But
that freaked me out.
Speaking of Hellman's, it's mayonnaise. I've been asking people, I said, how do you spell mayonnaise? I'm having a hard time. They always spell with one N, and it's like two N's, and it's like...
I would spell it with one N. I would.
Yeah,
What's weird? I have like all the Mandela effects. I don't know why.
Wow.
It's and the ones that I would say I don't have, I just think, well, that's not a Mandela effect, I guess. I don't know. It's just I have an overwhelming amount, and I know almost all the claimed Mandela effects too. You know what I mean? Like, I've kept up with it for the last year and a half hardcore, and I have almost all of them. And some of them you have to be interested in that. You know what I mean? If you never watched Star Wars, you don't know if his leg was silver or not, right?
Exactly.
Right. So I'm missing some of those, right? But it's crazy on how many I have, and they are getting worse. Is all.
Ramping up.
Yeah, and that's what I've been paying attention to the whole time, to see if this is unraveling space time or what, because it is getting worse.
Well, there's two things. There's like the quantum computers. In 2017 January, D-Wave came out with a 2,000-bit quantum computer, doubling the amount of bits from the 1,000. And then at the same time, CERN is ramping up the power on their Hadron Collider. So both those realms are increasing whatever they're doing. So of course the effects are going to get worse and worse. And it kind of makes sense. It's one or the two, or
both. They need
both,
the D waves to run whatever they're actually doing at CERN. And I'm not sure if that's what's going on, but I know I'll tell y'all this much: if they have way better than a D wave by now. If they let us have quantum computers in some universities and stuff, the government has had one. I just guarantee it.
Well, you want to hear some with the I've been studying quantum computers for a while, and D-Wave was the first one, a pioneer, to come through with it. They use niobium for the material, but there's other companies, I forget what their name, but they're using different types of material, different types of way of whatever they do to do the same computations, but of course at 0 degrees.
Do they still have to put the CPU in a super state?
Yeah, they all have to do that.
Yeah.
That's how you get the quantum effect to work, because if you shield out all the noise, all the interference, and you bring it down to almost absolute zero, because you could be like D-Wave runs at 15 millikelvin. That's enough to calm down the atoms. So when there's no molecular movement, then they stop behaving like a particle and they behave like a wave, and that's a wave probability. So you have no location. It could be anywhere, And
do you think they can access another reality's internet?
Well, this is the thing with the quantum computers. The reason why it could do all the computations at the same time, because all the bits are quantum entanglement.
And the more bits they have, the more alternate dimensions they can access. Is what I got. Yeah, okay.
Exactly, because it's a 2,000 bit. So you take 2 to the 2,000th power. I mean, 2 to 300 power is called a Google. a Google number,
Yeah.
which is uncountable. And then you're going out to 2,000 bits. And every time you add a bit, you're doubling it. You know, you heard about if somebody gave you a penny every day and you doubled it for
Yeah.
30 days, you become a millionaire.
Yeah.
But this comes out to like near infinity. But the way the quantum world works, that's why everybody needs to really research quantum mechanics, because the answers are there. That's really how this reality functions. Not the classical like the Einstein. That's like you know revelation comes as in layers. Like when man discovered you know, when Einstein thought up these theories and they proved it, that's one layer. But the second layer, I guess we've gone off, right? Is that what you're saying, Brian?
Well, there's one thing I wanted to one more thing. Aaron wanted me to bring this up, and another person in the chat wanted me to bring this up. So actually, they brought it up. But let me just share one more thing. Check out the mayonnaise, the way it's spelled. Does that look right to you guys? Now here's it has two N's in this reality. It's like they added an N in mayonnaise. That's what it looks like. Smashing Pumpkins Residue right there from their album.
That's a Smashing Pumpkins album?
Yeah, it's actually called mayonnaise, the way we some of us remember it, you know what I mean?
Oh, I got you. You know, the day their first album came out, I learned 2 of their songs on the guitar, like because I waited for their album to come out and got it, and came home and started playing Window Pane and something else. But anyway, that would be Residue because it's their label. You know what I mean? They weren't selling mayonnaise. I don't know. That one's weird.
No, Residue is like so cool, man, because
it is.
Residue is what gives us credibility as people believe in the effect. Because without Residue, they could say, "Oh, you're psyoping the whole thing." But Residue is really, you know, there you go.
How could you explain, like for instance, you know, say you, like you brought up truth about this trip that supposedly no one actually took, no one remembers with you, you know, like how could you explain stuff like that? That's Florida. Stuff that's very personal.
Right.
Well, that's what's scaring me, because at first it didn't seem to be personal, okay? And it just seemed to be logos and lines in movies and things like that. But it's a whole nother ball game when you know, I don't know. It's something I thought about, and you know what will come up in your mind is are those actually my parents? Is what will come up in your mind if you come across that and you're thinking about it. We have to take them as your parents. They both look the same, basically. They basically have the same likes and dislikes. Maybe their history was just a little different and we didn't go on that trip, and there's probably a few other times that's like that, and maybe they just didn't remember the trip, you know. My parents are very, very smart people, retired millionaires, and they're sharper than I am. And maybe, but still, and maybe they just forgot. But we drove to Florida, and this one was when I was 16 and first got a car, and I followed behind them to Florida, all the way to Florida. It was my first road trip, and they don't remember it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is truly amazing. I want to focus on some closing remarks because we are getting to the bottom of the hour here, and I know for some people it's real late, and I just want to go ahead and we'll start with Chris. Has been kind of quiet over there. I'm sorry I'm picking on you, buddy. Are you still there with us?
Who, me?
Yeah, hey buddy.
Yeah, I'm just listening, just like the other guy, and just listening to everybody.
No, that's perfectly cool, buddy. You've been so patient over there, and I'm sorry I'm picking on you. Go ahead. Do you have any closing remarks or anything you wanted to say?
I want to thank you guys, because I'm, all of my friends here and my family don't see this, and they don't see what I'm talking about. They think I'm kind of crazy. I've talked to several of my family members, and they look at me like I'm crazy. You know,
Well,
and
Join the club, buddy.
yeah,
You're not
and-
alone.
Join the club.
well, you're not alone. And,
Yeah.
Did you bring up Mirror Mirror or Berenstain? Because almost everybody has them.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just they look at me like I'm, you know, somebody different. So I just stopped talking to them about this, you know, just talking to them about normal stuff. But I don't have
Yeah,
anybody to talk
that's
to,
good.
so I'm glad this, you know, this kind of forum, this kind of chat hangout is, you know, available to people. And I encourage anybody listening to this to, you know, participate in, you know, hangouts like this. You know, if it's not with Brian, hang out with somebody else. But because I do feel alone, and I'm glad you guys are here and saying that I'm not alone.
You're not. I mean, we feel your pain, brother. We do.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I have most of them. And there was a whole week there where my whole world was messed up, man. You know? But you get over it, and then you know what? Another one comes around, and you're like, just like tonight, Damien got me with the Darth Vader, man. Oh God.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Well, I needed to know. You know, I might make a video about that because I did the first C3PO one, and because somebody said it in a comment, right? And I was like, C3PO didn't have a silver leg. Went back, watched the movie. He's got a silver leg. And I was sick that day. I was real sick when I made that video. But I had to get that out. But yeah.
You go through this phase, right, where you discover the Mandela effect is real for you. First, you're ignorant of it. We all start off with ignorance. And then we finally accept the idea that stuff has changed. But the bottom line is, what can we do about it? Okay.
Right.
Well, you calibrate. It's like our brains eventually calibrate, you know. And if you have a really strong Mandela effect, again, it'll happen again. But you just get used to it because, like you said, what can you do? You know.
That's right.
It's the new norm. That's all I could say.
It's abnormal. Abnormal.
Well, I personally enjoy the changes. I know it sounds kind of weird, but no, it's like it's pure entertainment. Who needs TV? Who needs drugs and all this stuff? When you got the Mandela effect, you just dip back. And I'm telling you,
who needs psychedelics? The world is changing all around you.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like I can't wait when I get up in the morning. I'm good. I check on my subscribe channel, see who puts up a new video. And Brian, he totally rocks it because he comes out like 5 or 6. He runs them out like hotcakes. I go, yeehaw, a new one. You know.
I'm still falling behind. I've got like 25 other ones I got to produce.
You better get to work there, buddy.
I know.
I need some more. I mean, and I'm serious. I'm totally serious. When I don't get any new change videos, I go through with like a Mandela withdrawal, and I gotta have it. I mean, it's like a fix. I'm telling you, it's the greatest show on earth. I mean, the Ringling Brothers at Barnum Bailey, they got nothing on this, man. I'm sorry, but you know, tell me something better than this. I mean, it trumps all conspiracy theories. Or any kind of news. I mean, this trumps everything because it's actual physical reality changing.
That's
I
right.
love it.
And isn't it funny how it isn't on the news at all? Which to me, if this was a psyop of some sort, psyops get pushed on the TV.
Exactly.
Now they have brought it up, but not in a big way, you know. Not
you know what it is? They're so scared of it because either they'll lose their reputation or they just can't handle the fact that reality is changing. Not only present reality, but past reality is changing. They just can't. They go tilt when they try to comprehend that fact.
That's right.
It's not safe. It's not a safe topic for them.
Well,
no.
You know,
let's talk about this. What should we rename the Mandela effect to? I want you guys in the not only everyone here who's with me in Hangouts, but some people in the chat. You know, should we rename the Mandela effect? Maybe it sounds too corny. You know, maybe
D Truth said in the chat. It said is a quantum leap. I agree with that kind of thing.
No, the quantum effect The
Quantum
quantum
effect.
effect. But
No, he
you
said
can't
quantum leap.
rename it. The cat's
Yeah.
already out of the bag. It's already been
Yeah.
coined. It's already
Coined.
huge.
Right.
And
It's
I
coined.
want to rename it too.
How
Okay.
about
Yeah,
the
me
Great
too,
Awakening?
but it's
Let's call it the
coined.
Great Awakening, okay?
I find it's going beyond though just the relationship with Mandela. It's coming into its own name. It's the Mandela effect. It's not just Mandela, and
Yeah.
it's.
Oh, of course.
I
Yeah.
think it's good.
If you want to get technical, you call it the quantum effect because that's what it really is. But of course, it's been coined Mandela. It's like whoever discovers the first thing, like
Fiona
all these
Broom.
things. Yeah, exactly. She coined it. She hit it first, and there you go. Just like the guy who invented the gay flag, the rainbow flag. Therefore, the flag with the colors is now the symbol of the gay community. And that's
Sure.
the way it's coined. First come, first serve. When you settle out west to get your land back in the 1800s, that's yours because you were the first one there.
If you're the first one to discover a star or a planet or anything like that, you get to name it.
So Fiona Broom named it Mr. Nelson Mandela.
Right.
Yeah.
You
How
can
ironic.
all
How
write
ironic.
her and thank her.
Well, what I want to do is, if I can find some backing from some billionaires, I want to create a Mandela World theme park, instead of Walt Disney World, Mandela World. And what we could do, we could stick everything in there that was like the original path.
Well, make it be like a study hall, like a library of all recorded Mandela effects on the planet.
There you
Yeah,
go.
but also have another one where it take you back to the way the past originally was.
That would be so
It's
cool.
like you go, oh, I'm back. I'm back home. It's just like in Spider when he thought he got back to his own world, and then all of a sudden, his dad comes in there. He's alive after he's been dead.
Digital. The best way to do it would have everybody sit down in front of a TV and just show a bunch of corrected stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
The old way and everything. I want to watch Star Wars again, but somebody do a totally take out "No, I am your father," and I want them to convincingly and professionally replace it with Luke. I am your father.
Yeah, that's right. Let's ban
So
it.
I can watch it.
The way it was.
Yeah,
right?
I just want to watch it one more time. Like
I
it's supposed to
think
be.
we should commercialize this. I think we should make T-shirts that have like a big circle with a cross going through it. Say, "No, I'm your father," and have it on top, Luke.
We just got a screen printing press at work. Digital.
Are you serious?
I'm
Man,
not kidding.
I got all kinds of ideas, man. I can email you some nice picture art. They could make like all kinds of Mandela shirts, man. I mean, really,
make them all. Logos and stuff.
exactly. Former logos, or put the former logo in the back and the change in the front.
Yes, I love that. That's awesome. Dude.
That's the way to do it. I mean, you got to enjoy it, man. Why not? It's going to happen anyhow.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Embrace
Okay,
the
guys.
change, I guess, and stay positive, right?
Okay,
That's
guys.
it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Mike D for life. I think he has it down in the chat room. Because if we wait around long enough, the Mandela effect will rename itself.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it'll be. I can't think of a funny one though. What would
Hey
it be?
guys, real quick, what did you guys think about One Harmony? Did you ever or Harmony One, whatever his name is? Well, his IQ.
Whoa!
Yo, his IQ has got to be off the charts, man. He's got to have like a 300 IQ or something like that.
Oh yeah, I've watched his videos. He's been out a while too, and he's cool. Definitely need his input.
Oh, it was great, man. I enjoyed it.
He could have taken over the whole session. Honestly, we could just
Yeah.
he could have like talked us to death for 3 hours. Honestly, it was pretty amazing. His stuff.
Yeah.
But, Truth. Did you have any closing remarks before we go?
Yes, I just want to say thanks for letting me on because I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and like I said, just to talk to people, like-minded people about this certain subject, And just like everybody's commented down there, it is hard to find people to talk to in real life sometimes about this. So I think you should do way more of these.
I am due to the success rate. Okay, I am going to do another one probably next Friday night. You know, if you guys are interested.
Yeah, if you keep a steady schedule. Yeah, if you keep a steady schedule like that, I'll be on.
Yeah, brother. And I'm trying to get more experts from the field. You know, I think they'll be able to give us some more information, you know, into the Mandela effect.
Get Fiona Broom on. That's
I did. I actually sent her an email. Like
me too, but she didn't write me back.
Well, that's another thing. I mean, could she have been invented by CERN? That, you know, is she real? That's what I want to know. I want to.
She's sort of like that was it Oracle back in the Matrix, part of the Matrix there, right?
Yeah.
She's part of the old programs.
Yeah, it's right. It's running in the background there, you know.
Just running around.
But yeah, I really appreciate you guys jumping on the show, and you know, you got a lot of guts, and I really appreciate that. Closing remarks on my part, just real quick. I want to make sure that everyone, you know, tries to stay positive and just live your life. You know, don't be in denial of yourself. You know, treat others with respect that you would want treated. You know, just like Jesus always said. And you know, just be positive. That's all. That's all I can say. And if someone presents you with an idea, think for yourself. Don't. You know, I'm not saying be ignorant, but think for yourself. You know, don't just fall into something. Okay.
That's right.
Another comment I want to make too is, you know, I feel like people who need to seek out like relationships in this, I encourage people to get on Facebook and try to subscribe to one of these Mandela groups or whatever, quantum change or whatever, and just reach out people, accept them as friends, just start doing the chatting. That's how I hooked up with Brian, because I was watching his videos for a while. And I said, man, I got to get a hold of this guy, you know. Then I started texting him, then started talking to him and all that.
Hey, Digital and Brian and everybody. I put my email address up there in the chat for the Hangout. It should still be up there. You guys email me or something so I can talk to you. Like, I'm on Facebook, Digital, and I'm on those groups, but I'm under my real name. So
yeah, me too. I got my real name under that.
Yeah,
too.
let's hook up under that.
Okay.
Or something then. And same way, Brian, if you want to do that. And my email address is theabnormaltruth@gmail.com. I had to use the in front of the abnormal truth because somebody already had it. So.
Oh, okay. Sure thing. I'll look for that. Actually, do you mind posting it one more time, please?
Sure.
Yeah, it's theabnormaltruth@gmail.com. I got it. Copy and paste my notepad. I could.
Awesome. Okay.
Face chat.
Great. I'm really glad we got to do Hangouts. This is my first time, honestly. Thank you all for watching and being a part of this, because, you know, we don't want to leave anyone out.
That's right.
I had a lot of fun.
I did too.
What?
I had a lot of fun too as well.
Great. I'm glad we turned a positive. It went positive for a while there, then it turned a little bit negative. We had to bring it out of the rut that we were in. But I'm really glad we went more positive.
Oh, it's all positive. I put my email up there too. It's digital@digitalscribe.us if you want to get a hold of me.
All right, good deal. Good deal.
Hey, thanks, guys. I'm stopping the broadcast. Just, you mind staying in the chat just for a second so I can
Sure.
or exchange emails?
Sure.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.